Hello? Am I audible? Do people hear my voice? Is everything fine? Yeah, there we go. There we go. So, well, we only have 2 viewers, and I guess one of them is Alicia, maybe? No, that's not true. Linus and Scrustle and Urgent Icebox. Okay, that's more than 2, so I don't know why it's saying 2. Yes, Alicia. Why is Alicia gone? So we were away on a little vacation to Alicia's hometown to meet her parents, and the day we were supposed to go back home, Alicia suddenly fell really ill, like, you know, like throw up ill, and when it's like a almost 5-hour train ride, and that happens like 2 or 3 hours before you get on the train. I don't really want to deal with that. So basically, I had to go alone, and now I'm all alone with Yusika. She's in bed, and when I'm a little bit lonely, I need something to do, you know. So I thought, why not stream? Why not stream? Let's see. I think this chat box is maybe a bit too big. Let's see. Let's squeeze. There we go. Oh wait, no. How do we do? How do we? How do we do? Can you do like? No, you can't. Yes, you can. That is that good? This is better. No, that's just a crop. Wait. What the hell? This is what... this is what I need. Yeah, of course. Fuck. Okay. That's probably good, but... How do you make it longer? No, that's not... That's just squeezing it. What the hell? Right-click the settings. The settings. Let's just have it like this. This is good enough. I'm not good at streaming. Anyway, so that's why Alicia's not here. She's sick in her own hometown. I'm alone, all alone at home. It's time to play some games. So I thought to myself, what game do I play when Aliplu's gone? Like what's the lonely Kiki hour game to play? And it's Radical Dreamers. Of course it's Radical Dreamers. It's a little storytime game. And usually when it's just me and Alicia, when it is me and Alicia, we we talk a little bit too much. So I thought that like this is the one chance I have, because now I control the conversation. I posted a link on Twitter. Don't worry about it. I posted on Twitter. I posted on Mastodon. I posted on Tumblr. I posted on the Discord, and I posted on the YouTube community page. Also, by the way, last time we streamed on YouTube, and we thought we would start doing that again. Now we're back on Twitch because it didn't work out. YouTube kind of treated that stream as a new video, and we lost subscribers because I think maybe people just like thought it was a new video or something, and then they were like, "This is just a stream." And it just kind of popped up in the statistics and everything, and we were just like, nah, fuck that. So we're not gonna stream on YouTube in the future. Gonna keep on Twitch, like maybe on the second channel, but that's a discussion for another day. So we're gonna have a little story time hour. We're gonna... Hello, new follower, thanks. We're gonna play the game, which is just a bunch of text. It's just a Teleview game, And I think most of you already know what this one is because we made a video about it almost 2 years ago, but it's one of our more well-liked videos. It's the preservation one, capturing the frozen flame. But also, I didn't talk too much about the specific details of Radical Dreamers. So, like, why not play it? It's not too long. Archive discourse, yes. Now, I don't remember all of the game, so I have a little walkthrough ready. It shouldn't be too bad, but there are like some points where you have to make choices, and it's a bit of almost a survival horror game in that you have a health bar that's invisible, and you can die and you can fuck up, so you don't want to make too many mistakes. So that's why I'm gonna have to refer to the guide a bit. Although there are a bunch of fun outcomes you can get if you mess around more. Les Toisons Interdits, I think the subtitle is called. And yes, it does have that subtitle. It doesn't have that one in Japanese, and I don't think they added it. This is the Demi-Force, the classic translation, not the new one. I think that's the scenario name when you beat the game. There's like 7 scenarios. Yeah, there are awards for all these. They're on the second channel. It's called Transparency Second Layer on YouTube. So if you search that, there's a playlist which has everything since like May last year. So you can watch the Ristar one, but why not stay around for the moment, and you can watch it later. So let's get started. Let's erase a save slot in the RAM. Press start to begin. Yeah, finally. Alicia's helping me in spirit. She's my mod now. It was then that I opened the notebook my mother had given me. She said she found it while cleaning out the closet. Crumbling and covered with dust, it turned out to be the diary of my long-lost grandfather. Do you still remember how we first met and all of our adventures since? It all seems like such a dream nowadays. You were a piece of a star that fell from the sky. Whenever I want to return to those days long gone, I close my eyes and whisper your name into the evening sky. Kid. Kid. The text is a bit slow, but this is the auto-scrolling part, so this is just the intro. I'm gonna read all of this, by the way, so like it's a story time hour. And then we go into the book. Let's hear Serge's story. Kid. Hey, kid. Are you ready, kid? I know you're anxious, but stay on your toes. Yeah, likewise, mate. Mess up and I'm leaving you behind. The music is real good. Is it mixing good? It's not too loud. Come on, Miguel. That bastard Lynx is gonna get what he deserves. Say your prayers. Not that it'll do you any good. That's a line from Chrono Cross, you know. Also, that castle is just Neuschwanstein, their super famous German one. It's in a lot of games and stuff. There we go. Radical Dreamers. I think it's like Les Toisons Interdits. It's like an O, not an E. I don't know. I'm not French. I can speak French. It means the forbidden treasure. I think. Was that castle in Resident Evil? Oh yeah, wait. I think it is in like the painting in the room with the zombie. This game actually has a lot of similarities with Resident Evil. Came out in '96 as well. Some pre-rendered graphics, and you're walking around a mansion. Has a bunch of weird puzzles. We'll do le text speed, le slow, le pew, le normal, le fast. Neuschwanstein was in One Piece as well. It's the castle Chopper lived in. It's in a lot of things. Let's go with normal because we're reading aloud now. We have a story time. Boy, did our information help. I thought the parameters counterspell would be quite a problem. Kid's braid sways gently from side to side in the cool nighttime breeze. So far, we've managed to slip through the magical shield network undetected and sneak into Lynx's domain. Still, this inner region can make for some pretty rough travel. Kid, McGill, and I comprise this party of 3. It's been something like 3 years since Kid and I met. Back then I was a drifter, wandering wherever my music led me. During my stay in the remote town of Regiora, I ended up running into a girl who later joined me, leading to the beginning of all this. That girl was Kid. Kid is a thief, of course. Not even 17 years old, she's widely renowned as a top professional. To make matters worse, she's cute, devilishly stylish, and has a sparkling personality. And boy, can she cook, if you ask her, that is. Well, to be completely honest, she has her share of problems as well. She likes to think of herself as a kind of Robin Hood, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. But that's just not the case. At times, her sharp tongue can get the best of her, viciously lashing out at anyone who stands in her way. She exaggerates every other word and sometimes lies outright. And as for listening to other people, well, forget it. When it comes to money, well, I've never met anyone greedier in my life. Her relentless pursuit of wealth is ironic, considering she's a nomad like me. I don't know, maybe I'm being too hard on her. She has her good points too. She can really shine sometimes, when she wants to. Glancing back over my shoulder, I noticed a silhouette silently emerge from the grove. McGill. This associate of Kids is known to us only as McGill of the Shadows. I know next to nothing about him except for the fact that he somehow knew Kid before I came into the picture. Almost read as come. A high-class magician of some sort. He looks to be about 30. He usually keeps to himself though. The top half of his face is covered with a mask at all times. Never even seen what it really looks like. At times it seems as though I'm hanging around someone from another world. Traveling with this pack is definitely an interesting experience. Kid's quiet about her past too, but it's like I know her entire life story compared to how little I know about McGill. From time to time I find myself wondering who he is, where he came from, and so on. And I ask Kid, but I get the impression she knows as little about him as I do. You might be wondering, how did I end up here? How did I end up where I am now? Well, there's a lot of reasons, I suppose. I guess you could say that life doesn't always go how you plan. Suddenly, Kid comes to an abrupt stop. Seems someone wants to say hello. Out of a nearby thicket, 2 shimmering eyes catch my attention. Whatever it is, it's staring at me silently. After a few moments, a few more pairs of eyes appear. They seem to be surveying the area. A deep feline growl breaks the uncomfortable silence, and I realize we're being hunted by a pack of feral cats. A few of the figures slowly approach from behind the trees. I look behind me, only to see that they've already encircled us. This is me. As you can tell, I'm having a pretty rough day. A few more slowly creep in, now totaling about 10. Chills run down my spine. In a daze, I clumsily unsheath my knife, grasping it tightly as I bite my lip. I'm just gonna check together real quickly. Yes. Alright, so there's a funny thing can do here in the first encounter. You can try to do magic, and Surge can't do magic because he's not a magician. He just kind of gets the idea, if you give it to him. I mean, it's gonna do like a save state, so we can watch that. We're gonna just do it this once, because I find it funny. Then I'm gonna back out because it's kind of bad to do that. Kid stands ready with an air of composure. Careful, mate. These buggers are probably rabid. The growling increases now, a constant rumble all around us. Yellow eyes shimmer like jack-o'-lanterns, while saliva drifts from their snarling jaws. Middle one's stomach gurgles as its eyes widen, fixed directly at me. Looks like we ain't getting out of this one without a fight. What will we do? So like this gives you an impression that it's like a regular RPG. And if you press magic, as I try to remember a spell, a cat suddenly leaps directly at my head, its huge jaws wide open. No! I raise my arm to guard my face. Pain sears into my arm. Struggling and tangling with the creature, I manage to pry it off and keep it at a distance. Surge, behind you! I turn around to see that I'm now face to face with a pair of those ravenous yellow eyes. To do magic again. I barely miss a set of claws as I dodge a quick attack. As the lance and starts to turn around, I take advantage of the opportunity and chant an old spell of mine, hoping to get the incantation right. However, nothing happens. The feline pounces again, but because of my fumbling magic, it takes me by surprise. Its massive body is suddenly on top of me, forcing me to the ground as it tears into my shoulder. Basically, McGill is a real magician, but Surge is just a dude. So you can make him like try to do magic, and it's just like, I tried to do a little spell, but nothing happened. We're gonna back down that. You basically supposed to attack, just be vicious, just go, and kid likes that. This game is kind of like a dating simulator with kid and a survival thing and a text adventure. It's a bit weird. So you have like the life points and the like the affection points is strange. Okay, what will we do? We will attack. Slash viciously at a nearby cat. Startled, it leaps back with incredible reflexes. I stay my ground, not getting any closer to the beast. Hearing a howl, I know I've hit my mark. Licking its wound, the animal recovers after a moment of pain. Ready my knife, waiting for my next chance to attack. Surge, behind you! Turn around to see that I'm now face to face with a pair of those ravenous yellow eyes. Attack. There's no time! Duck as the cat lounges and snaps at me. I smell the body odor of the cat's breath as it passes overhead. Just as I think it's past me, I feel its back claws dig into my back. Scrambling out of the way, I manage to shove my knife upwards, planting it deep within the animal's belly. The sound of death can be heard as the cat falls to the ground before me, barely moving. Almost delirious, I lose balance and fall to my knees. Rolling over, I manage to shake off the confusion before any of the other cats can get any closer to me. Take a deep breath and try to tighten my grip on my knife, now slippery with sweat. Then out of nowhere, Kid flashes across my field of vision, landing a direct hit onto the cat beside me. The cat screeches in pain as Kid pins it to the ground, stomping and kicking it with all her rage. Without a moment's delay, she boots the animal up underneath its jaw. It moves no more. All of a sudden, the crazed atmosphere gives way to a war cry behind me. I whip around to see McGill's inferno spell setting a cat's head ablaze. It jumps up, screeching and howling in madness before running away wildly. In confusion, it runs directly into a tree and knocks itself out cold. So that's an encounter. This one is scripted. I got some damage, but basically being very ferocious made Kid like me, and that's good to have later on. I look around and see that only one of the pack hasn't been taken care of yet. As Kid and I start to close in on the beast, it bolts, fearing for its life. Well, that was some workout, eh, mate? Says Kid, coming towards me as she tends to her arm. I take a deep breath as I look around, trying not to step on too many of the bodies. I'll admit I was a little worried back here there at times, but nothing too serious happened. I tried talking to McGill despite knowing how he'll react. Are you alright? With an expressionless face, he looks down at me blankly. You need not worry about me. Wow, the affection is just overflowing from that guy. However, I probably shouldn't start complaining now. We've still got a long way to go. We haven't even set foot inside Viper Manor yet. He glances over at me, seeming eager as ever, ready to tackle what's next. You gonna hang around all night or what, mate? No way, let's go. Hey, come here. Trying to ignore my aches and pains, I head over towards Kid. Good job back there, mate. She comes closer. I can see the reflection of the moon in her eyes. She gives me a warm, comforting smile. But come on, we can't just stand around all night. There's treasure waiting to be found. Still lost in her eyes as she starts to set off. McGill continues behind her without a hitch. I hurry to catch up behind the two. In a place like this, getting separated would be a bad idea. We continue to make our way through this natural labyrinth of wood and rock. Somewhere, quietly waiting within this huge forest, Viper Manor beckons us. Deep within lies the treasure we've come for. Lord Lynx, as he's formerly known, is an aristocrat who governs the Regiona Outlands. From the way Kid talks, he's apparently an old adversary of hers. Tonight, our goal is Lord Lynx's most prized possession, a scarlet jewel known as the Frozen Flame. Besides being priceless, some say this beautiful stone harbors some sort of mystical power. They say many people have sought after the flame, but none have been victorious in stealing it. Viper Manor has claimed many lives. But we will succeed. We pride ourselves on making the impossible possible. Besides, the way Kid talks about Lynx sometimes, it sounds like she's got an awfully personal vendetta against him. We can't lose. We've come too far to lose. And so, after having spent countless hours crossing this dreary, lonesome forest, the silhouette of a towering mansion finally comes into view through the trees. That's not Neuschwanstein. That's something else. We made it, Kid shouts. Your days are numbered, Lynx. We quickly make our move, quietly dashing out from behind a thicket. Once at the mansion wall, we creep stealthily along the perimeter, searching for an entry point. After a short while, we come upon a terrace near a garden which looks relatively inviting. Doesn't look like there are any guards on patrol. Still, the mansion gives off a strange sort of morbid feeling. It's as quiet as death. McGill gazes up at the towering fortress. We can enter into the west wing from here. There's no need to look elsewhere. Okay, let's go, Kid says, jumping over the terrace handrail. Halt! Shouts McGill from behind, staring at Kid. Our goal is the Frozen Flame, not vengeance, Lord Lynx. Remember this, Kid. Aye, no prob, she says, glancing over her shoulder. Ain't gonna be nothing to it. Like taking candy from a baby. We'll be out of here before that slimy rat knows what hit him. Yeah, you low down, good for nothing bastard. I'll make you pay. There she goes again. Come on, I'm getting tired of waiting around, she yells, before bolting into the mansion. McGill shakes his head in silence as I chase after Kid, already deep inside. The darkness engulfs me. It's very atmospheric, this game. I really like it. Like the descriptions of it's like we're entering the darkness. It's silent like death. It's like this bit standard descriptions, but I like it. It's very nice vibe to it. Also, like the immense darkness of this game. It's just a bunch of black screens mostly. Passages extend to the left and right. Wherever we turn, darkness awaits. Let's try the right passage. How about left passage? I'm just gonna check real quick. I'm pretty sure it's a left. You can take any one you want, but let's be more efficient here. Downstairs, okay. We'll take the left passage. As though we're inside a gigantic snake, the passageway twists and turns, stretching deeper and deeper into the mansion. We now stand in almost complete and utter darkness. Just a trace of moonlight manages to illuminate the path. I stop for a moment to realize it's now completely silent. I feel as though we're being watched silently by every single being in this dreadful house. Taking a deep breath, I move on. And I set my foot down. Slyly, with the stealth of a cat yet so valiantly composed. Kid follows behind in stride. Drifting in and out of the shadows, the macabre figure of McGill looks out from behind. The weaver of fate has surely by now taken notice of us, cradling us carefully in her arms. After a while, the path splits into 3 directions. To the left is a descending staircase, while the path on the right extends into darkness. Another passage which lies ahead. Taking the stairs. As I start to slowly descend the stairs in the dim light, I stretch my hands out in front of me to try and feel for something. However, all I'm greeted with is the moist feeling of these grimy stone walls. We descended the staircase. To the left lies a huge stone archway, and to the right we see a narrow path twisting into the darkness. Enter the passage on the right. Passage which makes a sharp turn to the right before stretching on through the subterranean maze. Before long we're greeted with a beautifully ornate set of doors on the right. Strange, there's a distinct smell of flowers coming from here. Enter the room. And do some investigating. We come to a comfortably decorated room. Small trinkets have been placed on the desk and shelves, adding some charm. The owner of this room has obviously gone to great lengths to try and bring a somewhat graceful lifestyle into this otherwise dark mansion. Still, the room seems to carry an unsettling stillness with it. Bet it's Link's daughter's room, Kid says, surveying some of the items. The letter on the desk and a warm teacup hint of a woman living here. Only women drink tea. However, after searching the room, no one is found. All we find are various odds and ends, a beautifully arranged set of flowers and white handkerchief carelessly tossed aside, a small bottle of perfume, and so on. All of this stuff adds atmosphere to the room, none of it is really worth anything to us. Kid also seems to feel this way, disregarding most of the stuff in here. She picks up a small box decorated with a serpentine coat of arms. However, like the rest of the items in here, it looks like it's of little worth to us. What should I do now? Check the bed. Ask Kid about to open the small box. Check the dresser drawers. I open up the dresser. All sorts of differently colored garments have been placed in the drawer. Frills, lace, and just about every color of lingerie. Are you really... Surge! What kind of dress this is, Kid mutters, holding up a silk garment from the bottom of the drawer. Examining the dress, I can see she's fascinated with it. I've never worn anything like this before, she says, running her hands across the fine floral lace. She slides the dress down her shirt and pulls it up over her shoulders. After a moment or two of shuffling around, she undoes her shirt and I see her wearing nothing but the silk dress. She looks as graceful as a fairy with it on. Wow, look at me. I'm a lovely maiden, not a scrap of roughage on me. None whatsoever, a perfect fit. Oh, Serge, quit teasing, says Kid, blushing. Come on, let's go, she says after a while, putting her rolled clothes back on with a smile on her face. From here, the passageway stretches to the right and left. I don't know if you're like if you have to do that. It's just like it's a thing about like he's getting some bonus points with Kid. You don't end up with Kid in the end, by the way. Like they do not get in a relationship. It's just that like I think does she like I think she survives or something, or she I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a while. So it's not really a dating thing, or I guess maybe. Heading right would take us further into darkness, while turning left would take us back to the staircase. After a little while, the dark passageway ends at a polished, robust set of doors. Kid crinkles her nose in disgust. Something strange about this place. I don't feel right, mate. Probably just my imagination, though, huh? Standing here in the cold darkness, Kid's hollow laugh does nothing but add to my fear. Going to the room. No, I don't remember. It's been a while. Also, like, there are a bunch of scenarios and stuff. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that can happen in this game that's just, like, wildly different directions. You can get into a scenario where, like, McGill becomes like a space cop or something, and then it's like a kaiju battle, and like it's just you live all kinds of versions of this game. This apparently Lynx's headquarters. No one seems to be here, however. We're right on top of you now, Lynx. Say your prayers, you bastard. Looking around, it's a very dilapidated room. Furniture is thrown about in all directions, and almost nothing matches. Take a look at the room as a whole. There's no sense of harmony whatsoever. It's very suggestive of a chaotic mind. Okay, it looks like we gotta search through this mess. Sift through a number of odd items adorning the room. There's a cluttered desk and a painting that's hanging unevenly on the far wall, and a picture on a side table, among other things. In one corner of the room stands a tall, curious object of some sort. A scarlet cloth has been placed over it, covering it up. As I slowly reach my hand out to uncover it, McGill suddenly says, "Please avoid reckless interference." Taking his advice, I return my hand to my side. However, the cloth suddenly starts to fall off on its own. Boom. Didn't touch it, I swear. What? Did it just leap off by itself? Kid asks, rolling her eyes. A large mirror has been uncovered, fancifully decorated. It looks to be a high-priced arabesque antique. It's like arabesque. That word has to like originate from like Arabian. So like is what are the implications on Chrono Trigger lore? Because it's not our planet. Well, maybe it is, but I never got the feeling it was. Got a bad feeling about this. Then all of a sudden, spooky. The reflection of the Venus statue opens its eyes, staring at us through the mirror. Is this something you seek? The statue's reflection asks in a soft, womanly voice. Womanly? Is this something you seek? The voice seems to be coming from the statue in front of me, but only the mirror's reflection seems to be moving. It can talk. It is a mirror of whispers, McGill says, examining it closely. What is it, though? It's a looking glass that harbors a living spirit. The spirit is free to roam throughout nearby mirrors, able to see into our everyday lives. They are known to be quite wise. Is there anything you wish to ask? Wow, a million questions come to mind. Ask about Kid, ask about McGill. So, you know what? I'm gonna do a little... the guide says to ask about Kid. I'm gonna ask about McGill because I think like there's some cool stuff you learn here. So I'm gonna ask about McGill and then reload and ask about Kid. Very well. The reflection of the statue begins to ripple a little. Gradually the mirror fades into darkness. However, after a minute or two, nothing materializes. What could this mean? Worthless piece of junk. Come on, let's get back to work, it says, flexing her quite quick temper. We resume our search disregarding mirror. Wait, okay, let's get about Kid then, because like With I guess this maybe later you can ask about other stuff. Oh, that's weird. What in Blaze are you asking about me for? Kid shouts with a red face. Where well, the statue's reflection says. Ignoring Kid, who's slapping and pulling me, I focus on the mirror. Serge is kind of an asshole, you know. But I guess I made him an asshole. The guide made me make Serge an asshole. The reflection of the statue begins to ripple a little. Gradually the mirror fades into darkness. Before long, the jet black surface of the mirror is filled with what looks like a Regiona. One by one, shadows of trees, houses, and people materialize. The mirror focuses in on a young woman surrounded by small children. The children are dirty and poorly dressed, but they are all smiling and playing happily nonetheless. Then, abruptly, the building they're in bursts into flames. Armed troops are all around, everyone scrambles for a way out, but against her will, the young woman is abducted. The children, however, meet a much darker fate. Time passes. After the fire has burnt the building to the ground, the mirror shifts focus to a small girl covered in soot, crying behind the charred remains of her home. She lets loose a blood-curdling scream into the open sky as her right eye narrows like a cat's. Stop, Kid shouts. I look back to the mirror, but the image has already started to fade. Squeezing her hand into a fist, Kid slumps downward. The room is silent. Kid, I'm sorry. Let's go, Kid says abruptly, heading towards the door. Wait for me, Kid, I shout as I chase after her. That season's in Chrono Cross, right? Like the orphanage stuff with Luca. Pretty sure. I'm just gonna check the guide. Alright. Heading back, we traveled through the passageway, eager to shake this feeling of dread. After walking away, we come to a beautifully decorated set of doors on the left. This is Riddle's room. Keep on walking. Continuing on through the passage. Eventually, we come to a branch. There's an upward staircase on the left, as well as a stone archway directly ahead. We take the stairs. We're gonna go back up. I follow Kid up the narrow set of stairs, hoping not to lose my balance. We ascend the staircase in front of us. Paths extend in three directions. Left lies a dark corridor up the right. Right path leads out to the terrace. This path also continues on ahead. Proceed ahead into dark passageway. Head down the path. After a while, it ends at a stained wooden door. Go in. I guess this is his study. It's a lot of books. This huge room is faintly lit by the moonlight, shining in through a tall window. In the back of the room stands a large, ornately decorated desk. Row after row of bookshelves house thousands of thick, dusty books. A painting is hung on the rear wall, sharing space with various exotic curios. Examine the desk. Walk over and open a drawer in the mahogany desk. The drawers contain writing materials and documents arranged in an orderly fashion. Unfortunately, they don't seem to contain anything worth mentioning. Then a small picture in the drawer catches my eye. It's a portrait of a friendly-looking girl with a faint smile on her face. I hold it up, wondering who it could be. It's probably Link's adopted daughter, Kid says, looking over my shoulder with her nose crinkled. Oh my god! I forgot this. I think this is just the fan translation. I'm not sure it says this. It's probably some other word. Because that's a fucking strong word. It's dark. This game is fucking dark. Suddenly we start to hear footsteps coming this way. Though they aren't that loud, they boom like thunder in the night. Kid and I jump up. McGill swiftly conceals himself in the nearby shadows. Quick, under the desk. Kid and I scurry down underneath the desk. Curling up, I wrap her up in my arms. Smaller than I thought. What? Hey! The door opens with a sudden creak. We sit motionless without making a peep. The quivering light of a candle spreads in from the doorway. Soon after, a hand holding a candlestick comes into view from behind the door. Tightening, I nervously hold my breath. I look down, my heart skips a beat. With Kid's lips right in front of me, I feel myself starting to lose control. So full, and pink, and glossy. My heart starts pounding faster and faster. I force myself to stop staring and shut my eyes tight. Search is the worst. Whoever opened the door doesn't seem to have any intention of entering the room. Thought I heard something. No reason for anybody to be in here though, since the master is away. Still, those poor southerners on the move, it's never too safe to be sorry. That poor, by the way, or is it like poor? I don't know. That's like the first Chrono Trigger reference in this game. Because it doesn't signal at all that it's a Chrono Trigger game. It's just Radical Dreamers. And it's just like about these characters who have nothing to do with, well, seemingly nothing to do with Chrono Trigger. It's like Pori. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe the Kana reading would shed some light on it. But yeah, this is like the first time you get a hint. If you're a big Chrono Trigger fan, you would be like, wait, what's this? The door closes softly, covering the room in darkness once again. For a while we wait, not moving an inch. The footsteps echo away into the distance. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I can't stop thinking about how great she smells. Fucking hell! How long are we gonna stick to me? Are you gonna stick to me like that? Kid asks, blowing into my ear. Huh? Oh, I mean, sorry. Quickly get up, bumping my head against the desk with a loud bang. Crawl out, rubbing my head. Man, that stinks. Kid comes out next, crouching. She looks me over and says, "You goof. You're right." By the way, I lost health points by bumping my head in the table. I guess because I don't know what else to do with that spelling. Yeah. But it is pretty funny to play this right after Chrono Trigger, because I did that the first time I played this proper. Like I played through all of Chrono Trigger and then I went straight to this, and it is pretty fun because you're like, hey, I know what a Heckran is. Yeah, I'm fine. So Poor is up to something, McGill says quietly, emerging from the shadows. I'm just gonna say Poor. Poor is a large country governing the southern continent. I hear it's a pretty well developed and fairly prosperous place. What would they be after in? What would they be after in these outlands? Surely not the frozen flame. No matter how valuable it may be, in the end it's just a jewel, a piece of rock. How valuable could it really be? Let's see, I'm gonna go to the clock tower, I think. Yeah. Little study, retracing her steps through the dark passageway. Finally, the passage comes to a three-way branch. There's a descending staircase in front of us, in addition to passageways on the right and left. The one on the left will take us back to the terrace. We're going back to the terrace. We're going back to the terrace. Hi, everyone. Hello, Neos033. I'm. It's not weird. This is the first time it's not weird. It's I am playing Radical Dreamers. Now we have a little bit of story time. Read. After continuing on through the passage for a while, the terrace comes into view on the right. I take a deep breath of fresh evening air, hoping to calm my senses. Continuing on through the passageway. We make our way down the dimly lit passageway. After a few moments, we come to an old dusty door on the right. Kid quietly presses her ear against the door, quiet as a church mouse. No one's there, mate. Open the door. What's with all this junk? Must be a storeroom or something. Seems like this is the inner mechanics of a clock tower. However, the gears look old and rusted, and cogs are spinning randomly through without connecting up with their proper teeth. I doubt the clock's still in use today. The room seems to be currently used as a storage area. A large object catches my attention, off in a far corner of the room. It's too dark over there to see what it is though. Do not touch anything out of the ordinary, McGill says abruptly, sending a sudden shock down my spine. However, just as he says this, I see Kid emerge from the shadows, dragging the large object out into the middle of the room. It's a large antique sword of some kind. We got news for that old thing. We got no use for that old thing, Kid, and all it'll do is slow us down. Besides, we probably wouldn't even get much money for it. I reckon it's worth a lot to the right buyer, like an antique collector or something. Sulking, Kid quietly lays the sword down. What do you want? I look around, startled. That was definitely not any of our voices. Kid and McGill immediately take position, focusing their attention towards the source of the voice. Who's there? A figure suddenly appears out of the darkness. It seems to be a short old woman with a large hood over her head. Although fully covered, it's obvious she's quite old. I see some old hag, Kid says. McGill's sharp gaze on the woman remains unchanged, however.
What an energetic young lady. You haven't come here this late in the evening to drop in on some friends, I'd imagine.
I glance at Kid. Perhaps you have some score to settle with Master Lynx. My heart jumps. This is definitely not good. Will she warn the rest of them about us? Tell the truth, play dumb. Pretend to not hurt her. We're gonna tell the truth, because she's actually good. Kid's eyes narrow. If we did have a score to settle with that bastard, what's it to you?
Heh, just as I expected.
The old woman cackles in amusement.
Children, they're always so interesting like that. So imaginative, yet so predictable.
Mm-hmm. What are you talking about, old lady? Oh, it's already been 4 or 5 years that we gather. According to what I was told, one night a young thief came to the manor, looking for trouble. The thief was a little girl, about 10 years old. Surprised, I glance at Kid. There's a trace of an ice-like radiance in her eyes. Staring at her makes me feel like it suddenly dropped below freezing in here. On the face, the old woman continues her story. The girl was an orphan. She set off to face Master Lynx all alone, hoping to avenge the girl who had cared for her like a big sister. But after all, she was all alone. Outnumbered and overpowered, she was eventually defeated and captured by Master Lynx's henchmen. As an ally, Master Lynx can be quite an asset. However, as an enemy, he would be one of the most fearsome men alive. If not for a friend who sneaked in and secretly rescued her, she surely would have perished. For what I've heard, his mysterious figure who could allegedly slip in and out of the shadows was the subject of many whispers throughout the manor, long after this incident had come to pass. Not moving a muscle, I tried to look for McGill. He's nowhere to be seen. I can only guess he's sporting one of those trademark expressionless faces somewhere off in the darkness. Hello, sky full of stars. The inhabitants of Viper Manor don't condemn the unfortunate, because no one can win all the time. However, from time to time, the goddess of fate has been known to cast down those who have too much good luck, throwing the cogs of time out of order. It's not wise to try and stand against fate, continuing to repeat one's mistakes time and time again. The woman continues staring straight at Kid, smiling sweetly. If you want to steal a jewel, and if you really want to beat him, you too must give up your most valued possession, Kid. As long as you cling to it, the hands of your clock will never budge. Stay frozen, trapped in the distant past. Who the bloody hell is this? Is this old hag? Me? Oh, just an old lady.
Pay me no mind. Thank you for listening to this old maid for such a long time. I certainly hope I haven't delayed you at all. But before you leave, which one of you?
With that, the old woman looks at my direction.
Ah, yes. You look like you got a bit of a scrape there. Won't you let me have a look at it?
What should I do? I don't know whether to be petrified or comforted by all this. Yes, please do, ma'am. Old woman claps her hands together, bowing her head. She mumbles a few words in a low tone. Old woman claps. Suddenly, a gentle, pale blue light surrounds my body, filling me with a strange warmth. Wow! Look at that! My wounds are being healed before my eyes. Feels as though there is some sort of soft music being played all around me, putting me into a strange serenity. When I come around, the woman is gone. Hello, lady, says Kid, relentlessly looking around. However, there is no trace of her. All signs of her presence are gone. Wonder what was up with that old hag. Looking around, I can't help but wonder what she was talking about with all that talk about prized possession and everything. Let's get our asses out. Let's get our asses out of here. This place is giving me the creeps, says Kid all of a sudden, already heading for the door. See, like, man, like, what is her? She like, British? Let's get our asses out of here. Hey, wait up. So I catch up with Kid. She gives me a friendly poke in the ribs. Ain't no fair you were the only one who got healed. I think I'm gonna go up the tower now. Yes. From here the passageway stretches to the right and left. The right path continues on into the mansion, while heading to the left will take us to the terrace. Proceeding ahead on the path, we come to a staircase going up and a firm-looking set of doors on the left. There's better be treasure here. The smell of gold's thick in the air, mate. Try going inside, but it's gonna be locked. Just like I thought. Locked, Kid says after jiggling the handle. Frustrated, she kicks the door. This might slow us down, but sure as bloody hell won't keep us out. Bloody hell. Well, unless we find a key, there's nothing we can do, Kid. Let's get to it then. I bet Link's got it stashed up in his room somewhere, the bastard. Unable to do anything, we'll leave the look elsewhere. Yes, proceed ahead to the stairs. Does she speak in like Aussie slang or something? I think this translation is mimicking the Chrono Cross one. Like, I'm not good at English speaking like accents and stuff, especially not in word form, because I'm not a native speaker. So like the difference between a written like shove or like an Aussie or like Scottish almost, like it's very hard for me to pinpoint. But like this game has, this translation has some lines just taken straight from Chrono Cross. I could have played the new translation, but I played this one because it's easier to do on computer. Because I have the other one on the PlayStation. I didn't want to plug it in. I still think this translation is fine though. I like it. This is the one that made me fall in love with the game. So like, there's nothing wrong with it. Anyway, with Kid in lead, we ascend the narrow staircase. The cracked stone stairs seem to endlessly twist upwards. It feels like we're heading up to a scaffold to be executed. Atop the staircase, an old but solid door waits for us silently. This damp place fills me with a feeling of dread. It's a faint voice coming from the other side of the door, says Kid. I fear the worst. Maybe we should check somewhere else, I said. What's the matter, you chicken? She says while glancing at me. But I can tell by the sound of her voice that she isn't feeling much better about this than I am. There's something wrong about this place, and we all know it. Open the door. Oh yeah, like many fan translations, they often swear more. I did also had like I'm not sure I can even say that word here. Like there's some takedown. But I thought that P word was a bit strong, maybe. Um, I don't think they said that in a Japanese one. This translation is 20 years old as well. It's a small room, one you'd find in a stone tower. It's empty and I can't find a single window in it. What the hell kind of room is this? Although she's trying to hide it, I notice a shiver running down Kid's spine. Maybe something of use here. Let us search more closely, McGill says quietly. You really think we'll find something? Kid proceeds to the middle of the room while I examine the walls and floor. The stone floor is filled with countless scratches covered by splotches of a dry dark ink. Hey McGill, would you come over here please? Something's carved into the wall here. I think it's an inscription of some sort. McGill kneels down in front of the wall and examines the writing. Looking close at it, it appears to be written in blood. Indeed, this text has been worn down with age. Most of it is unreadable. Here's what I can make out. Won't la ma ang onger sha dragoons nye he and sha sor order to proof. It's like won't last much longer. I think it's like Arcacia dragoons need the enchanted sword, the enchanted sword, in order to proof. Without any warning, the door slams shut. We stand up, taken by surprise. Then suddenly, a low rumbling starts to fill the room. What's happening? Kid shouts, looking around frantically. What's that above us? Oh no! We're getting into Indiana Jones territory. Indiana Jones. What now? There's no time to lose. Try to stop the ceiling, break through the wall. Try to ram the door. Kid flies like an arrow, ramming against the door. Her small body bounces back. The door is far too heavy. Bollocks! McGill streaks across the room like a hurricane, dashing against the solid oak. The door creaks but holds tight. My turn. I ram into the door with all my strength. Ah! A heavy shock shoots through my body, but the door doesn't budge an inch. The rumbling continues to get louder and louder, reminding us of the rusty blades, eager to greet us. Surge! McGill! Come on, together! 3 of us start to ram against the door simultaneously with all our strength. The door hinge gives. We stumble outside, barely escaping certain death. Behind us we hear the gut-wrenching sounds of the blades meeting the stone floor. I watch the morbid scene in a daze, gasping huge breaths of air. Finally, the grinding sound fades away. It seems the ceiling has stopped. Damn that Lynx toying with us like that. So this is the torture chamber. I wonder how many of the Acacia dragons it has claimed, McGill whispers. Who? I ask. It's like Acacia, Alicia dragons. Dragoons. Oh yeah, it's dragoon, not dragon. I think I said that. You have to try to eat some pasta. Well, that's good. Hope you're feeling better, Aleplu. The Acacia Dragoons. They were once an elite force serving General Viper, a powerful man who used to rule the western territory of Gersbuele. I don't know. It's like this, like German. Gersbuele. That's not even German. That's Gersbuele. I don't know. They were defeated more than 10 years ago by the very hands of Lord Lynx. By the look of things, we have apparently found their resting place. Who cares, this kid, as she stands up. Generals and knights and everything. It sounds like some old bedtime story. McGill shrugs his shoulders in silence as we start down the stairs, eager to get away from this awful place. The key lady in the way will descend the stairs. At the bottom of the staircase, a quite sturdy looking door stands on the right. Okay, I'm just gonna go back to Lynx's room, so I'm just gonna click past this. Because it's like the same dialogue. Like he's describing walking through the mansion. Anyway, what are you people up to? Something funny happened today? This music is very cozy and comforting. It's a little silent piano. Like this game does a lot with so little. It's just like this darkness and this small, faint, very vague visuals. But like the soundscapes, it's nice. Like when we were outside, you had like the crickets and everything. It's very atmospheric. It's a minimalist game. It was made in 3 months, and they actually only had 2 months to make it. And Square were like, "Oh, you get 1 more," when they weren't done. Making any game in 3 months is absolutely ridiculous. Like, it wasn't fair for them to make this in such a short while. Hello, Sean Wolfbark. Right, we're getting back to story time hour. Some new dialogue. Not well, I guess it's dialogue. Or like his prose. Lynx's quarters. Oh man, I can feel kids' blood boiling from here. Going to the room. Favorite wolf. Lynx's quarters. I sure hope that key's in here somewhere. Bet that mirror could tell us where it is, Kid says, removing his large silk cloth. The dark mirror looms before us like a still lake on a moonless evening. Is there something you wish to know? The Venus statue's reflection asked. Oh yeah, this is the part where you can like... this is what I was talking about earlier. Where you can get like... different dialogue. So what we're gonna ask about is the key, but like we can take this. We're not gonna ask about kids' measurements because it will have exactly the outcome you think it would. Kid will not be happy about it, so let's not pester over that stuff. What's going on inside Lynx's mind right now, I ask, as my curiosity momentarily overcomes my fear. The surface of the mirror ripples gently before fading into darkness. Before long, a sentence of white text begins to materialize. Huh? Kid asks, frustratingly staring at the text. What's be so kind and find him by yourself supposed to mean? Be so kind and find him by yourselves supposed to mean. That's your answer? A damn mirror, you just want a good smashing, don't you? She yells, stepping towards it. However, the mirror's clarity begins to fade and all of the remaining text becomes too foggy to be read. Kid shakes the mirror in anger, but the mirror seems to have lost its vision. Spirit has transferred itself to another mirror. It's useless to try and speak to it now, McGill says. Damn mirror, come on, let's find another one. Yeah. He's gonna ask where the Oh yeah, it's also weird. Like, do you want to see what happens if you ask kids measurements? Because I'm doing save state stuff now, so like might as well. I'm gonna wait for anyone to say either yes or no. The first one is what I'm gonna listen to. No, okay, there we go. If you know where the key to the treasure vault is, could you please tell us? The mirror's surface begins to ripple. The whirling smoke soon takes shape into the picture of a large room decorated with rows and rows of books. Howdy, Raider of the Stars. And beautifully womanly. Again with womanly. This is probably like some weird weird phrasing in the translation. In a beautiful womanly voice, the mirror responds, the key you seek as you see before you rests within this room. Towards the rear of this great sanctuary of knowledge, within a large purple book, you will find the item you so desire. The image slowly fades and returns to a normal reflection. Spirit has apparently moved to another mirror, McGill says. Okay, let's head for the study. As I head for the door, I suddenly get the feeling I'm being watched. I come to a stop and look around. Then suddenly a faint whisper reaches my ears. Be careful, they know. Whose voice was that? It wasn't any of ours. The mirror. It wouldn't double cross us, would it? It heads out the door, bolting down the corridor. I frantically chase after her, easily as eager as she is. Your answer would have been French fries? Well, French fries is nice. But sadly I can't ask the mirror about French fries. Heading back, we travel through the passage which eager to shake this feeling of dread. Well, we're gonna head back to the library, so I'm gonna just kinda skip past this. Keep on walking. So like in the library we can pick a bunch of books. You're supposed to pick the right one, and picking the wrong one makes kid annoyed at you, so you lose kid points, I guess. But I think there's like a reference to like the epoch or something in there, like the time machine from Chrono Trigger. After a while it ends at a stained wooden door. This is a study, I think. Go in. Okay, time to find a key, Kid says as she steps into the center of the room, surrounded by row after row of books. We did a crazy mirror so we could find it. Hey Serge, pay attention when I'm talking to you. Huh? I thought you remembered which one it was. So which is it? Okay, this is the purple book in the back, but like there's... I just want to see... wasn't it the one on the front shelf with the blue cover? Front shelf, eh? The blue one. The blue one. Here it is. This one. Kid pulls the book from the shelf. I watch closely as she opens it. Her eyes become narrow as the cat as she starts to read the mysterious symbols, and she begins to read a passage in a low, steady voice. The week before their departure to Arrakis, when all the final scurrying about had reached a nearly unbearable frenzy, an old crone came to visit the mother of the boy Paul. It was a warm night at Castle Caladan, and the ancient pile of stone that had served the Atreides family as home for 26 generations bore that cool sweat feeling it acquired before a change in the weather. His voice trembles as her speaking becomes softer and softer. Looking over, I see she's sunk into silence with dim eyes. Suddenly she notices me looking at her. Turning away, she quickly closes the book. This ain't the right book, Serge. Which one is it? Okay, we're just gonna... I'm gonna see... Because I don't really remember what's in these books, and I... it's lore. It's a book with a red cover in front, isn't it? Okay, that's the shelf. The red one. Got it. Kid pulls the book from the lower shelf. She opens it as we watch closely, leafing through it. The passage catches her eye, which she begins to read in a low, steady voice. A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice shanty. Fly back to school, little starling. Yuck. What the hell is this? Kid yells, slapping me. I feel sick. Yuck. Sheesh, sir. She'll let a lady read such things. Now, which book is it? Well, we're not gonna... it's a book with a purple cover in front, isn't it? It has the shelf in front. The purple one. Purple one. Here it is. This one? Kid pulls the book from one of the shelves in the middle. Watch closely as she opens it up. Her eyes become narrow as a cat's as she reads page after page of strange convoluted symbols. Here it is. The Neo-Epoch was damaged and expelled into space without any phase changes. Warning. Engine severely damaged. Output has been reduced to 30%. Only 6 anti-particle shells remain. Shield range 16 sectors. L-spin reaction at the starboard bow. The enemy fleet is moving towards us. Yada, wake up. Corp, use your final power. What is this? Reminds me of... What, kid? Nothing. Quit janking my chain search. Which book is it? Sheesh. Yeah, so that's like another little Chrono Trigger reference. It's gonna pick the right book now. I think most of them is kind of nonsense. And there's a bunch of books. We don't have all day, you know. Purple book in the back. I'm pretty sure it's that purple book over there. I think. Which one? Oh, I see it. Kid pulls out the purple book towards the bottom of the shelves. I watch closely as she opens it up, flipping through the pages. Suddenly, an old brass key falls out of the book, hitting the ground with a clank. Alright, the key! Throwing the book aside, Kid bends down and grabs the key. Her eyes light up as she stares at it in her hands. We race out of the study, eager to see what awaits us in the vault. McGill falls behind a moment later after returning the book to the shelf. McGill is a good boy. He's just like, oh, the book's supposed to be in a bookshelf? It's very, very orderly, you know. Lita studied, retracing our steps through the dark passageway. Finally, the passage comes to a three-way branch. A descending staircase in front of us. Yeah, we're just gonna head back to the locked door. It's kind of interesting because you very quickly is make a mental map of this place in your head that I still remember it, like all of it, like the layout of this place. I don't know if that's a testament to the strength of this game or that I'm just good at remembering directions. Here we go. A firm looking set of doors on the left. There better be treasure here. The smell of gold's thick in the air, mate. Go inside. It better open now, says Kid, putting the key we found in the lock. As the lock clicks, we're suddenly showered in all colors of light. Must have been an enchanted lock. Whatever's on the other side of this door's gotta be good. The heavy doors open slowly. Inside the room, I gasped at the awesome spectacle laid out before our eyes. I can't say like awesome as an adjective without doing the Carl Sagan. Awesome. The awesome machinery of nature. Millions and billions awesome powers of the galaxy. This isn't say powers. Awesome nebulas and star clusters in the Milky Way. Despite the sparse light, a brimming mountain of silver, gold, and other precious-looking artifacts shimmer and twinkle throughout this huge treasure vault. Kid is almost drooling at the sight. But to be fair, a sight like this would captivate most people. Enormous heaps of riches are piled before our eyes, in amounts most people would probably never see in their entire lives. Looks to be authentic. Remember, our goal is to flame. Do not waste time with frivolities, says Miguel flatly. This is a fucking Cave of Wonders from Aladdin, you know. Jeez, I told you, I know. Regardless of Miguel's warnings, kids can't help but be taken aback. She gawks at the room's contents in awe until... Hey, what's that? In the back, on that pedestal. There, a palm-sized jewel radiates a pale crimson light, resting patiently towards behind the other treasure. It looks as though it's a roaring flame that's somehow been frozen in time. Could it be? Oh, yeah, it's the frozen flame. Or is it? Oh, guide onto this. Hello, new follower. I didn't see. Wait, is it Chicanery or Chicanery Games? Well, hello. Thanks for following. A frozen flame. As Miguel glides over towards the pedestal, I nervously call out. Well, it's a trap, so we're gonna say, be careful, we can't afford falling into a trap. Fine, Kid frustratedly says, glancing back at the door. Just remember we're short on time. After investigating the pedestal for a little while, search was correct, it does seem to be trapped. Hello, Waity. Follow for future streams. That's correct. There will be more. Miguel steps back, mumbling something in a low voice while placing his hand near the base of the pedestal. Slowly, an inscription begins to emerge on the surface, shining brightly for a moment. It should be disarmed now, he says, before cautiously lifting the scarlet jewel from the pedestal. Search party got the frozen flame. Woo! Phew, we did it. With a sigh of relief, I turn towards Miguel. He's looking intently at the flame. Way to go, Miguel. Alright, look. Suddenly, the gem shatters into 1,000 pieces in Miguel's hand. It's a fake. Indeed, that female lynx would never have left a real flame in a place like this. Damn. Suddenly, an alarm bell rings out. The room lights up and heavy metal bars fall in front of the door. Our only exit is blocked. Look around only to see Kid holding a fancy crown, suddenly realizing what she's done. This is just Aladdin, you know. Just party got the golden crown. It's pretty funny. At a dim-witted dingo, I said to myself. Suddenly, out of the corners of the room, 4 mechanical birds suddenly come to life. Intruder alert! Intruder alert! The loud metallic screeching only adds to my uneasiness. It doesn't look like it will open, says Miguel, shaking the iron bars in front of the door. But before Miguel can even finish his sentence, we start to hear deep, snarling voices somewhere outside the room. Which way is it coming from? A heavy voice asks. Sounds like the treasure vault's alarm to me. The voices continue to get louder and louder as we stand motionless inside the room. We suddenly gawk at each other, hoping any one of us will have some sort of plan. Kid hide herself under a mountain of gold coins. Quick, hide, mate. I frantically look around the room. There, over in the far corner, there's an empty treasure chest behind a post. Dash over towards it, climb in and close the lid.
Looks like there's no one here, boss. That's strange. No one's ever been able to escape this whole thing.
Softly opening the lid with a chest, I take a peek outside through the small crack and see 5 goblins bedecked in armor, having unlocked the iron bars and standing just a few feet from me. They look around the room restlessly, peeking into the shadows. Eventually, one of them raises his head to speak.
Maybe a rat set it off. The cook was complaining about rats just the other day.
Rats? Trying to tell me a rat set off the trap? Oh.
Rats? Are you trying to tell me a rat set off the trap?
A fat goblin questions the other with a doubtful face. And with that, squeak, 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 comes from the corner over by where Kid is hiding. Taking aback, the goblins stop moving and look at each other. After a little while, the chief slowly strokes his chin and says,
"Oh, actually, wasn't it stray cats that the cook was complaining about?"
Meow, meow, comes the voice a second time. Again, the goblins glance at each other.
That's strange. What I heard was that it was a vicious Heckran that raided the pantry, I think.
So, anyone who played Chrono Trigger, Heckran is of course a monster that appears in Chrono Trigger. Not a peep this time. Can only picture Kid racking your brain trying to think of what a Heckran sounds like.
Yes, as I thought. A thief, says one of the guards.
But just as they start to approach, we're gonna fight these guys, but they're actually quite vicious because there are like 5 of them, so you can get quite fucked up here, so I'm gonna make a save.
Run. Oh, well then, it certainly is Heckran. Without a doubt, one of them says,
exchanging a smile with the others.
Well, that's pretty frightening, them. Come on, let's get out of here.
The pack begins to file out of the treasure vault. But then, suddenly, the goblins all spring on the pile of gold.
Well, what do we have here?
Hey, get your hands off me, you slimy freaks, Kid says, struggling to break free.
Slimy? A thief like yourself isn't in much of a position to criticize,
one of them hollers at her. Kicking herself free of the grasp, Kid inches back into the corner of the room. The goblins start to corner her off. This is really... Laughing to herself, I thought it said something else. I quietly sneak out of my hiding place and unsheath my knife. Taking on an entire troop of armed goblins is a lost cause, even for Kid. What should I do? Frankly, I'm in a quandary? A quandary? Not a quandary? Oh, well, got to save her. This is like the only room that like the text is a bit unreadable because it kind of overlaps with the gold. Yeah, I can imagine my friends, especially at a time like this. Gripping my knife tightly, I charged into the center of the room, shouting, "Hey, you stupid oafs!" They all turn around, staring at me blankly for a moment before their expressions turn to rage.
You just came out here to die, didn't you, little man?
Mm-hmm.
You really want us to trample over your head that badly? Well, I suppose we can accommodate you,
the goblin boss says, giving a deep laugh. Without a moment's hesitation, Kid shouts back, "Don't think you can easily pick a fight with the likes of the great Kid and get away with it."
Wait a minute, so you're the elusive Kid, the boss asks,
as its eyes softly narrow.
How sweet this is. Perhaps if I deliver your head to the Lord Lynx, he'll give me a nice reward.
The boss goblin takes its morning star from its side. This huge iron ball jangles down to the floor.
Please don't confuse us with just any ordinary goblins, striking fear into the hearts of men everywhere. We are Lynx's elite security force, the fearsome magical gobbler team.
The magical gobbler team.
If you got time to spout off all that nonsense, then you sure got enough time to get your asses kicked.
Oh, you got time to spout off all that nonsense, then you sure got enough time to get your asses kicked, Kid shouts, exploding with a fierce roundhouse kick. Goblin teeters and staggers, dizzied by the brunt of her attack. Let's get him, boys.
Let's get him, boys. Start with that little twerp over there.
Metal balls begin to swing around, swooshing through the air with deadly speed. So like the battles in this game are random. It's it's a gamble. So you just gonna have to be lucky. Get goblin attack now! Sliding across the floor like the wind, the goblin simultaneously rushes. Looking up, all I see is a goblin coming at me head on, ready to bash its weapon into my skull. Parry. Frantically parrying the goblin's attack, I try to launch my knife. Quick as a mouse, I slice into the goblin's side. Lets loose a gnarling scream of pain as its putrid face contorts in agony. Beside me, an arrow of light jumps out from McGill's fingertips, instantly pulverizing the goblin. The goblin topples to the ground, half vaporized. McGill stares at it with his ever-present eyes of steel as his dark cape flaps into the breeze. Another huge iron ball whizzes through the air, swinging down towards me. Ram the bastard! I got to think of a better strategy than you standing around. I quickly put my weight into the goblin, try to force it off balance. And face, the goblin moves only a little as I collide with it. I, however, bump off and tumble onto the ground. Ah! I scream as the goblin kicks me in the ribs. Yeah, McGill is pretty brutal. He's just like half vaporizes. This is some gruesome stuff. I'm just imagining like a pair of legs then remaining. Looking up, all I see is a goblin coming at me head on, ready to bash its weapon into my skull. Dodge. I feel a gust of wind from the metal ball as it closely grazes by me. Somehow I manage to dodge safely, however I fall off balance and hit the ground with a thud. Instead I start to hear an odd howling noise from behind me. Turn around to see McGill's black wind spell streaking out from his fingertips, transforming in mid-air into a countless number of racers. They fly like a homing missiles into one of the goblins, cutting it to shreds. McGill is gruesome. Savage.
How can a human have such power? Who are you? Ah!
The goblin shrieks in fear as its body is effortlessly torn to pieces. McGill's expression remains unchanged as he silently surveys the scene, looking for his next target. McGill is scary, you know. Another huge iron ball whizzes through the air, swinging down towards me. Roll over and dodge it. As quickly as I can, I roll over and try to dodge the attack. Yes! The iron ball smashes into the floor, sending sparks flying everywhere. It misses me by a hair's breadth. I frantically scramble away from the weapon. Looking up, all I see is a goblin coming at me head on, ready to bash its weapon into my skull. Parry. Frantically parrying the goblin's attack, I try to launch with my knife. Quick as a mouse, I slice into the goblin's side. Lets loose a gnarling scream of pain as its putrid face contorts in agony. Kiki comes to my aid, delivering a lightning quick strike to one of the goblins. What's the matter, huh? Where's your magical gobbler skills now, or whatever you call it? The goblin can't help but collapse onto the floor in pain. Kid boots it in the jaw before backing away for her next attack. Quit screwing around, Surge. Keep an eye on your own trouble. Another huge iron ball whizzes through the air, swinging down towards me. Let's ramen again. Got to think of a better strategy than you standing around. I quickly put my weight onto the goblin, trying to force it off balance. Gritting my teeth, I butt my head against the goblin's face. My head feels like it's been hit by a hammer. However, as I open my eyes, I see that the goblin is in a lot worse shape than I am. It falls backwards in a daze, its mouth a bloody mess.
Long live Lordlings, glory to the magical gobblers,
says the last of the goblins as it comes crashing to the ground in a bloody mess. Phew! That's the last of them. Oh yeah, you can get away with a lot in text. I mean, this could also be the translators just having fun with it and just kind of adding more like gruesomeness to it. Because I'm not sure, like, if I ever learn enough Japanese to actually read stuff, this would be really interesting to just play the original version of. Because I think there might be a bunch of differences. Easy says Easy says Kid, wiping some sweat off her brow. Surge, you goof. Can take care of myself, but thanks, mate, she says, cracking a smile. Her face hits me like a glimmering beam of light, cleansing my darkness and filling me with joy. Never forget what you did back there, even if I never see you again after tonight. We must be on our way, McGill says. There's no way of knowing who else knows we're here now. No, that bastard's causing us too much trouble. Said they were Link's personal guards, yeah? They might have some valuable stuff on him. But before she even finishes speaking, Kid starts to search through the head goblin's clothes. Sheesh, there's really no need to be such a scavenger. Hey, what's this? She says, removing a small metal object from the goblin's pocket. It's a hand-shaped medallion of some sort, covered in archaic-looking symbols. It's a key, McGill says, walking over towards us. These markings suggest it unlocks a certain magical seal. Wow, well, they're lost, says Kid, casually putting the plate in her pocket. Damn it, they don't have any other good stuff, sheep goblins. She stands up and looks around, sighing. It'd be a waste to leave all this loot behind, though. You can always come back for it later, Kid. Kid turns around and grins. Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's go. The night won't last forever. Actually, can I will in this game because it doesn't have a timer? You can't just stand around. If you idle on the screen for 24 hours, the night will keep going. Let's see. Yes. Oh, is it overlapping the chat? Well, luckily, this time this game is so dark, so it's no. Although like the text can overlaps also in the well. Although I'm reading it loud, so it shouldn't be a problem. I had to just check ahead what to do in the guide, because you're gonna have to like activate a trap and flee from it. And I didn't remember if I was actually supposed to do that. I'm gonna have a little drinky, little ginger beer. Well, that bottle cap is on the floor. So I think we're like halfway through the game right now. It's a bit hard to judge because like the end has a lot of text. Not that many like choices to make. We've seen most of the mansion now. It's not a too big of a place. So now we're gonna go through the archway on the left. Peeping in from the arched entranceway, Kid looks astonished. Oh, look at this. I heard about these things. They're called atriums. What is it? Atrium? Atrium? A large fountain sits in the center of this beautiful room, looking across the way. Another archway, similar to this one, leads off into the darkness. Oh, cold, Kid exclaims, taking her hand out of the water. Coming to her side, I kneel down and peer into the pond. Leaning over the beautiful marble edge, I too feel the chilly water. From deep beneath the surface, a number of fish start to swim towards us. These bugs look expensive. Can't seem to see the bottom of the pond. I wonder how deep it is. The fish are a little restless, splashing here and there. Suddenly, a Kid tugs at my arm, jerking my hand out of the water. Before I can ask why, one of the fish leaps out, snapping at me. We scramble to our feet and take a few steps back from the fountain. Many other fish soon follow, jumping out of the water, snapping at us. A few land outside of the pond. I kick one of them into a corner, watching it violently squirm around. It appears to be a piranha. More and more of them emerge from the apparently bottomless depth. Having gotten a fresh scent of game, the piranhas start to splash around more viciously now, getting water everywhere. I wonder how many of these things could be in there. It looks like there are more and more of them emerging every second. Suddenly, a dark red liquid starts to erupt from the fountain. Kid leaps back at once. I'm shocked as well, staring dumbfoundedly at the erupting fountain. The gushing red liquid shoots higher and higher. The water level of the pond rapidly rises, taking on a disgusting red hue. For long, the water level has started to overflow under the floor. A bead of sweat rolls down my brow as I realize that the room is about to fill with water. Might be able to make it to safe distance before the piranhas reach us. Quick, what will we do? Gonna head back to staircase. You can't try fighting them, but it's not gonna work out. Come on, we're outnumbered. Splashing through the water, we turn back, heading for the passageway from where we came. However, a few of them manage to sink their teeth into me before I can get away. I kick off the last remaining few as I bolt out of this vile room. Phew! What a close call. That rat bastard, whatever trick he's got up his sleeve, it won't stop us for long. We're coming for you, Lynx. While resting on a wall to tend to my wounds, I look up and notice something out of the ordinary. Hey, was this here before? Carved into the wall, a large marble sculpture of an intimidating face stares down at us coldly. Looks as though it's been sculpted by a fine artisan. It's very detailed. Its features are beautifully etched and barely eroded. It's a mouth of truth, McGill says. A what? A mouth of truth. The legend is that if you're given to lying, a mouth of truth would know it if you put your hands into its mouth. Oh, what a hard idea, Kid says, rolling her eyes. Let's see you do it, I say. Kid looks up worried, but seeing McGill looking at her feels resolve and tentatively puts her hand into the mouth. However, after a few seconds, nothing seems to be happening. Hey, what do I know? I guess I passed the test. That can't be all there is to it. Ah, I know. Kid, how many pounds do you weigh? What kind of fucking question is that? 104. Kid suddenly takes on a worried look, but before she can remove her hands, their marble set of teeth clamps down on her wrist. Hey, you stupid face, what's going on? The white marble teeth gnaw from side to side, becoming stained with red. Damn it, let me go! McGill calmly offers an explanation from behind us. Without saying something truthful to the best of one's ability, a mouth of truth will never let go. Not hearing him at all, Kid kicks the stone face in a fit of anger. Let me go, you stupid face. I swear I'm gonna knock your teeth in. Then, as swiftly as it closed, the mouth opens. I crouch down to Kid, who's kneeling on the floor, rubbing her wrists. Oh, I guess you weren't lying about knocking his teeth in. Of course not, mate. I showed him good. Bloody stone face. I think this is just one of those like aspects where Serge is just kind of a weirdo. I think the point of Serge is that he's a bit horny. Like I think that's just what it's about, because it's always like when given a chance, he will just kind of be a bit of a weirdo, you know. Nasty, strange questions. I don't know. And that is the aspect of like you can make Kid hate you by falling for that stuff. You can, like, there's a point I think where you can like you can say something like perverted or something to her, and she straight up like kills you. I didn't put anything inside the mouth, did you, Kid? McGill asks. What are you talking about? No. I walk over beside McGill and peer into the mouth. There, behind his teeth, is a large pink tongue. I think this is sort of indentation in it, but I can't be sure. It's really far back in there. Maybe he wants to put something on his tongue. Maybe that's the real test. Kid begins taking out her things from in her pockets, under her shoes, and out of her hair. She gathers all sorts of personal effects. She stretches the pile of trinkets held in her hands out to me, smiling innocently. Guess it's my turn to face the test. As long as Kid's safe, I'm happy, I suppose. Wondering what the mouth of truth could possibly want, I reach for one of her accessories. So, like this part, you can use put a bunch of crap in the statue, and of course it's the small silver mirror we just got from the guard. However, since I have taken a little bit of damage in the battle, pretty sure I can use special raisin, and Surge will eat it. Take some of Kid's special raisins out of her cloth bag and place them in a giant mouth. Seems to be eating them. Hey, stop, you dumb rockhead. Those are emergency rations. Kid snatches the pouch back from me, and looking at the single morsel I have left in my hand, I find myself wondering what these so-called emergency rations taste like. Tasty. Surge, now we're eating them too. I'm not gonna have any left for real emergencies, Kid says, staring at me angrily. Yeah, right, I said to myself. Never seen her offer any of them to me when I needed them. But I did heal a little bit from doing that, so it's beneficial. And she won't use them either way, from what I know. Maybe I have screwed her over at some point by eating them. I don't think so, though. I think I take the small silver mirror into my hands and place it into the huge marble mouth. Well, no sign of tooth decay here. The mouth doesn't budge an inch. Whatever's supposed to happen isn't happening. Kid takes the mirror from me and fixes her hair a little. Oh man, she looks so cute when she does that. She tests others before you stop, McGill advises. Wait, wasn't it? Oh, it's not the silver mirror, of course. It's a hand-shaped plate, yes. Flat disc, either way. I take the hand-shaped plate. It's strange. Contorted symbols give me a headache just by looking at them. Nervously, I reach in and place it onto the tongue. It's a perfect fit. Sliding it into place, I quickly remove my hand and back away a few steps. The huge white eyes start moving around slowly. A slight vibration can be felt from behind the wall. Something's happening, something big. I wish I knew whether it's good or bad. An odd sound escapes from the mouth of truth as its eyes continue to roll. I want to make a run for it, however. I look over and see the ever fearless expression in Kid's eyes and stay my ground. Suddenly, the marble sculpture stops moving. I stare at it, wondering what's going on. Then its tongue starts to roll around inside its mouth, while its eyes tilt further and further upwards until its pupils disappear underneath its eyelids. We hear the plate sliding down its throat, vanishing into the deep, dark depths of the mansion. What's happening? Apparently a pious? What the fuck is... What's a pious? Pious? Pew? I don't know. Pious being such as this may roll his eyes from time to time. I don't know English sometimes, It's not my mother tongue. The simple fact that McGill tried to make a joke just there makes me stop and forget where I am for a second. All that's gonna happen is you're gonna lose another one of my things. Could have got a lot of cash for that, Kid says regrettably. Suddenly, over by the atrium, you start to hear some sort of latch being opened, and then, moments later, the sound of water draining echoes throughout the corridor. Is it pious? Okay, thanks. Taking a few steps towards the atrium, I see the red water has formed into a whirlpool and is flowing down into the pond. The piranhas are being washed away. What's the matter, little fishies? Not enough water? Aw. Playtime's over, you nasty buggers. Come on, I'm dying to see what's past that fountain. It means super religious? Wait, what's what's the mouth of truth super religious? Yeah, let's see. Where am I supposed to go? I think it's to the right. Oh wait, now I'm supposed to go left. You see that the door is locked. Bit of walking, we come to an old looking door with a brass handle. Damn it, another locked door. Don't get it, there's no smell of gold or nothing. This leads to Wiper Manor's catacombs, says McGill hesitantly. It's right. Standing here in silence, I realize there's a faint scent of death in there. And then, putting my ear to the door, I start to hear deep, tortured moans from far beyond. I jump back, looking at the door. Let's try somewhere else. The mouth of truth was giving religious. Keep going forward. After a little ways down the passageway, we come to a descending staircase. Take the stairs. We slowly walk down the stairs, taking us deep low ground, just though we're descending further and further into an endless abyss. Once we reach the bottom, we come to another split. We can go left or right, but both paths look equally dismal. I think we should try the left path. After a little ways, we're presented with a sturdy set of doors. A wooden plaque has been hung above the doorframe. Only one word is written on it. Armory. Armory, eh? The key to the catacombs has got to be in here. Kitty places her ear on the door. Not a peep. Go in. Takes a and drinks some tea. Someone is here, however. Look at this boy. With a book in hand, a single goblin sits in a chair, humming to itself. A sweet aroma fills the room, presumably from the teacup sitting on the table before it. There's something different about this goblin. It doesn't seem hostile in the least. Looking up from its book, it examines us from behind its bifocals. Ah, welcome. It's rare to have visitors all the way down here. Too bad we're not guests, Kid shouts. If you want to live, tell us where the key to the catacombs is. And with that, Kid takes her knife and thrusts it into the desk, slicing through the tablecloth. The goblin remains docile. Ah, you must be the elusive Kid. I so wanted to see you with my own eyes. We've all heard so much about you. Before it can finish its sentence, Kid grabs a knife and hurls it through the air. The goblin sets its book down, now unreadable due to the 7-inch blade protruding through it. It removes the knife and places it on the table. Your reputation precedes you. You're quite a radical young lady. Nevertheless, it's a shame. I wanted to see how that novel ended up. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Esmold, it says, offering a simple introduction. Please, I do hate to keep my guests standing at bay. Come, sit and we shall converse over tea. My first thought is that it's poison. Despite my concerns, McGill sits down. Take a seat next to McGill. Trusted McGill, I sit down next to him. Surely he's got something up his sleeve. Looking at Kid, she truly doesn't want anything to do with this. She remains standing, keeping a vigilant eye on Esmold. You're quite a radical dreamer yourself. Black tea is set for 3 at the table. Ah, there we are. After a moment, McGill takes the teacup and brings it slowly to his mouth. He takes a sip and then sets the cup back on the table. Esmil smiles. Ah, Himalayan chimpanzee. I've not had this blend in quite some time, McGill says. So Himalayan, like, because I never got the feeling Chrono Trigger is set in our world. But maybe it is, Maybe this is the lore dump. Himalayan chimpanzee. See, you are a gentleman of fine taste, I will have you know. Not many of my visitors have known of this type of black tea. I love that he's just like, you're a man of culture as well. Listening to their banter, I stare at my cup. Could it really be poison? Picking up the teacup, I bring it close to my mouth. It doesn't smell so bad. Delicious, I exclaim. Never had anything like this before. I loosen up a bit, sitting back in my chair. Wait a sec, what's going on? My wounds, they were being healed. Wow. Looking over towards Kid, she seems to be enjoying it as well. So let's get down to business. Certainly the key to the catacombs has to be around here somewhere. Whether I remember it is, however, that's a different story. I think I'm supposed to ask you for something. Something you like in exchange. Something I want. Your life, perhaps, he says, as his eyes light up from behind his glasses. You can't sit still, and I didn't press anything there because I checked the guide. Oh, you misunderstand, young man. I do not wish to harm you, Esmil says, noticing the sudden look of shock on my face. I enjoy chatting with the many types of visitors that we have in the mansion. Surely, as an adventurer, you must have plenty of interesting stories to tell. And to this, he looks in my direction with a smile. I look highly on unique stories and have been known to reward such storytellers. Staring down at the dark liquid before me, I start to rack my brain for a really good story. Okay, I've got it. On one particular evening, a small girl walked through a dark, dreary forest. Yeah, I was supposed to... The girl suddenly came across a large field. This is pretty interesting because I can tell different stories. I'm gonna tell a good one. Taking back to her home, the girl painted a beetle from head to toe with a shiny golden paint. Fine beginning, perhaps. Is that all? No. One evening, while a girl was walking through the forest, she came across a beetle. She took it home, painting it with a shiny golden paint. Next morning, the girl went to town to sell the beetle. Claiming it was a good luck beetle, she showed it to many travelers and eventually sold it for an outrageous sum of money. Yeah, Serge, and I'll bet the girl's name was Kid, wasn't it? From beside me, chills run down my spine as I hear Kid question me in her coldest tone. I made it up, Kid, I whispered to her. Maybe she really did do something like that in the past. Glancing at her, I see her eyes start to cloud over. Then suddenly she starts choking me, wrapping both her hands around my neck. How do you know about all this? Kid yells, strangling me. Oops. From behind me, I see Esmo pull out one of his tea bags. Noticing it, she suddenly forgets all about me. Her eyes lighting up at the sight of the tea. Perhaps some of my precious black tea leaves can be used to prevent against ruckus in here. Kid immediately snatches the tea bag. It was a fairly entertaining story. I am a goblin on my word, and as such I shall give you the key, he says, knocking on a certain spot at a nearby wall. A secret compartment opens from where he takes the key. He hands it to us with a smile on his face. Thanking him, we leave the room. Yes. Heading away from the armory, we come upon an upward staircase on the right. This passage also continues on ahead. Proceed on through. After a little while, the passage ends at a small door. Hey, I smell home cooking. Enter. Oh, it's just a small kitchen. For the servants, probably, I add. Look around the tiny room. There's a sink, pots and pans, and a bunch of food on in the cupboards. A rat hangs in a cage off in the corner, but aside from that, it's a pretty average kitchen. Kid walks over to a deep saucepan and peers inside. Smells fresh. Want some grub, Serge? Sure. I timidly peer into the saucepan. It looks like some sort of stew. Using a ladle on the stove, I reach in and take a big scoop. Delicious. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to say. Kid looks at me again. After a moment of hesitation, she comes over. Quit hogging it all for yourself, mate, she says, taking a ladle and sniffing the warm mixture. Want some, McGill? No, thank you. We take some bowls from the shelves and serve ourselves some more. As we eat more and more, the stew's warmth flows all through us. I feel great. I'm really healed now, you know? Yeah, there's a rat. And the rat is really important because we need to talk to the rat and free it. We're gonna help it and then hit the deck. Yes, I feel great. But then, all of a sudden, a quiet, shrill voice echoes out. It seems to be coming from over by the cage. Ah, what an independent young lad. Are all the boys wearing braids these days? Stop and look at Kid. Who's there? Looking over in the direction of the voice, we see nothing but a single rat. It stares at us with its small, beady eyes. Excuse me, you're a girl, not a boy. Looks like Kid can't decide whether to be puzzled or infuriated by all this. Just between you and me, I don't think this is the first time her personality has led someone to think she's a guy. Oh, this game is old. At any rate, the brown rat continues. Listen, please, kind humans. I'm trapped within a most unfortunate situation. While on my way to the kitchen this morning to bring home some food for my mother, goblins seized me and trapped me here in this cage. Unless I can escape, I am to be a side dish for their next meal. A side dish? Listening to the rat, Kid walks over to the sink. Please, you must help me. My desperately ill mother awaits my return, the rat pleads, its eyes twinkling in the light. However, I look over towards Kid. She's over by the sink, her face getting redder and redder. Stupid rat! Don't even know a lady when you see one. Kid yells, stomping out of the kitchen. Oh, young lady, I did not mean to. You know, misgendering Kid. That's not cool. You know. Kid gone. The rat turns towards me. Brother, help me. We're gonna help it. I understand. I open the cage door. The rat quickly scurries out. The rat laughs as a strange smile comes over its face. We really are a bunch of fools. We helped the rat and he's such an asshole, you know. Spitting out those words, the rat suddenly starts to tremble before rapidly growing in size, growing larger and larger by the second. It's a griffin! Stupid humans. Yes, in time for lunch. My mother's, that is. Damn it, Serge, you walk right into its trap. Oh man, what was I thinking? The griffin rises up onto its hind legs, screeching and flapping its huge wings. Suddenly, its sharp talons swoop down at us. Hit the deck! I frantically try to dodge the beast, hoping to avoid those terrifying 3-inch claws. I manage to avoid its blow, but I'm now cornered into the back of the room. As it inches near me for a strike, it rises up onto its hind legs once again, this time even higher than before. However, in a moment of blind luck, the griffin suddenly loses balance on the slippery floor and comes crashing to the ground. Wow, talk about close calls. I let out a breath of relief as I stand over the griffin, wondering what to do next. So, you ugly little rat. Now, stupid.
Wait. Please, I beg you, kind, beautiful human girl. I'm aware of valued information. If you promise to spare my life, I will tell you a special secret of the mansion.
I don't know. You lied already, you bugger. I'd rather just kill you and have it to be over with, Kid says, taking a step closer. Kid, let us hear what he has to say, McGill says, coming between them. Kid pauses for a second and then steps back.
Thank you.
That would have been fun, Kid says, shrugging.
One day you two may find yourselves within my situation, caged in on all sides. If such a fate comes to pass, remember these directions, and your life shall be spared.
Right 3 steps, left 2 steps, right 2 steps, and then you'll see. So, 3 right, 2 left, 2 right. 3, 2, 2. 3, 2, 2. And then you'll see. No sooner than it says this, the griffin transforms back into a rat, scurrying off into a crack in the wall. Sure hope sparing that thing was worth it. Who knows when it'll sneak up on us next. Yes. We're gonna have to use that in a pinch towards the end of the game. I'm gonna go up the stairs now. We're going... yes, the catacombs. Yes. Continuing on through the passage, eventually we come to a branch. If we turn left, we'll be taken back to the atrium. Heading straight through will take us to the catacombs. Towards the catacombs. After a bit of walking, we come to an old looking door with a brass handle. Okay, the goblin's key should open this door, Kid says, putting the key into the lock. With a click, the door unlocks. The door opens with a deep creak. Damp air creeps up from below, peering into the dark, decrepit place. I wonder how I ever got talked into coming to a place like this. We find ourselves in a long hallway, flanked on both sides by rows of countless jail cells. The cold iron bars stretch out in front of us endlessly. 1, 2.
Oh, Gorba, Merkid, surrender, forgive me.
Quiet, sobbing voice seems to be coming from the third cell on the right. Peer around the corner into the cell. In this dim, damp space, an old man sits in solitude, quietly mumbling to himself. Hey, mister.
Everyone. And it was all because of me. Every last one of the dragoons, Miss Riddle, even the general. Forgive me, please.
Ignoring us, the old man continues to mutter, staring at the floor as he rocks back and forth. Hey, can you hear me? Kid says, shaking the bars a little. You will not hear a thing. He has constructed a wall around himself, McGill says. What do you mean? Asks McGill. A wall used for shielding one's mind from reality. After being exposed to horrific events, tremendous amounts of pain and guilt has this effect on a person. He's made a safe world inside of his own mind where he retreats into. From there, he refuses to acknowledge anything he does not want to admit. Notice that talking about this is giving McGill a sort of sad, lost look in his face. Noticing my glance, he quickly turns away from me. Strange. McGill somehow reminded me of Kid just then. When McGill turns back, his usual blank expression has returned. Does this make sense to you, Serge? McGill asks. Yeah, it does. McGill continues, looking at Kid and me. We rarely see the walls we're trapped within. However, given time, some can come to understand and possibly even break free of these shortcomings. I wait for Miguel to finish, but he doesn't end up saying anything. I'd ask, but oh well. The mind revealing itself to itself. Can't help this old geezer. Let's get back to work, Kid says, already heading for the door. Wait, Kid, Miguel calls out. Somehow or another, we may yet find a way into this man's mind. What good will that do? Didn't you hear what he was talking about? The dragoons, real, General Viper. Oh, he's probably just into old folklore or something, Kid says, returning to the door. I have a feeling his knowledge will prove to be useful. Certainly has heard something of importance concerning our situation, Miguel says. Well, I guess we ought to help the old bloke out with his troubles while we're here. What is it we do, Kid asks. Say nothing, confused. Thinking through everything that's been said already, I really have no idea how to get anywhere with him. Well, somebody better think of something soon, Kid says. Must find a way to reach beyond his world. For every locked door there exists a key, so to speak. We will never make any progress with this man until we know what lies in his past. What are you talking about? A key? Kid asks. I do not know either, Miguel answers. However, there is at least one person in Viper Manor who does. Riddle. Indeed. I'm gonna talk to Riddle now. Leaving the endless rows of cells behind, we head back to the passageway. You know, it's quite interesting. I've gotten this far and not had a single random encounters, because usually you get them in the corridors, like you battle with a monster. I don't know why today, but that's kind of good, because keeps me alive and doesn't make the game run on for too long. I'm gonna see what. Yes. After heading down the dark, dingy passageway for a while, eventually I started to smell the pungent odor of dead fish. Return to the atrium. Ahead of us, we see another archway which would take us back to an upward staircase and eventually links as Riddle said. Not headquarters, this is their quarters. Continue. So it continues through the passageway, everything's going normal until suddenly something drops into my hood. I run my fingers through it and manage to peel off a cold, slimy object. Look up at the ceiling. There's thousands of the disgusting little black things up there. Leeches! Ah! The slimy, blood-sucking animals continue to fall onto our bodies as we panic more and more. Desperately try to shake them off, but it's hopeless. There's too many of them. The crowd around us, homing in on our presence from every direction, from the ceiling, the walls, the floor, everywhere. We got to turn around. However, looking back the way we came, a countless number have been started to crowd around the passage back behind us as well, blocking our only exit. Gotta get out of here, a kid yells. I don't remember this part at all. What the fuck? Leeches. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about this in the guide. Let's try running. Can't stand this anymore. I gotta get out of here now. So I bolt down the slimy leech-filled corridor as fast as I can. As leeches continue to rain onto us, wiggling their way down our shirts, sucking our blood with their tiny teeth. I continue to run and run and run, frantically scurry down the passageway, worried for dear life. I've never seen this before. What the fuck? Squishing their damp bodies under my feet, I suddenly take a bad step and slip on one of them, sending me flat on my back. Ah! Coming up from behind, Kid doesn't seem to see me. Kid! I yell, but it's too late. Unable to stop in time, she topples over me, falling onto the leech-covered floor too. Oh no! Surge! Standing up, we try to clean ourselves off, but it's useless. I'm barely able to get any of the bloodsuckers off before more and more begin to drop down from the ceiling onto us. Never been in anything half as foul as this. Never. Ah! Oh no, two have squirmed into my mouth. They wiggle around violently as they latch themselves onto my tongue. Ah! I spit the mouthful out and suppress the urge to open my mouth and scream again, despite the sharp pain now in my mouth from the cuts they've left. Suddenly, something strange happens. The leeches all simultaneously begin to squirm out from my closed hair and skin, heading back away from us. They travel a few feet down the corridor and there begin to accumulate in some sort of mass. What the? As the last few leeches make their way over to the mass, it starts to form into a humanoid shape. The figure solidifies moments later into some sort of blue monster holding a huge scythe. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna see if I'm carefully tiptoe out of there. It's very possible that you just have to fight that monster. That's a random encounter monster you can meet, but I've never seen the leeches. Never ever. Take a deep breath and remind myself I can't lose my cool now. Kid would never respect me again if I did. I start to slowly walk down the corridor, carefully placing my steps between the slimy, slithering leeches. Surge, Kid whispers. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here. Come on, kid, hop on, I say, bending over. She eagerly leaps onto my back. Ugh, she's a little heavier than I thought. I take a few steps, getting used to the weight. However, suddenly Kid starts screaming. You're all over me! Get me out of here! Kid, I'm going to fall over if you keep squirming around like that. I can't help it! Go faster! I pick up the pace a bit. Young along, my arms are starting to burn. Then suddenly I start to lose my grip on Kid. And it seems like you get fucked either way. Ah! Kid shrieks, falling to the leech-infested ground. Oh man, they're all over her. She's covered with thick green slime as well as a frightening number of leeches, squirming, crawling all over her body. It's disgusting. She's barely visible underneath all the muck. Oh no. You know, I think maybe this choice is probably makes her hate me more. Get him off of me, she yells, spitting out leeches as she scrambles back onto me. Petrified, she clings tightly to me, strangling my neck. Can't breathe. The leeches continue to fester their way underneath our clothes, in our hair, in our faces, until all of a sudden, so like, yeah, whatever you do, you're getting the leech torture. It's horrible. Absolutely disgusting. All of a sudden, the leeches start to recede. They simultaneously drop out of her hair from underneath her clothes and start to wiggle and crawl over to a few feet ahead of us. They begin to accumulate onto some sort of mass. Halt, McGill shouts. He points towards the mass, and suddenly a blazing stream of fire comes streaking out from his fingertips. The mass erupts into flames. However, a strange sort of low, garbled voice starts to echo out from the burning mess. Moments later, some sort of monster comes springing out of the charred pile of leeches, armed with a huge scythe. Yeah, so it's like it's this boyo, regardless. I'm just gonna go with this one because I don't think I have that bad standing kid as it is. Oh, I forgot to pick something. Very sharp edge skims in my chest, cutting cleanly into the flesh. No more than a few feet tall, this ominous-looking creature stands there, cacking at us, letting its long tongue hang out as it drools. As it drools onto the floor, its scythe is easily larger than its torso and longer than both of its arms. From the look of things, it knows how to handle itself. Suddenly, it swings its scythe out, aimed directly for me. What am I going to do? Duck! I instantly duck down low, hoping to avoid the huge scythe. Alright. The scythe only manages to cut through my shirt. Still, that was too close. Hey Stubby, you call that a scythe? Kid yells. Come on, kid. Looks disturbed enough already. Attack. I switch my knife around for a backhand attack as the demon grins a disgusting smile at me. The second I see it break its focus, I lash out with my weapon. However, my dead-on attack only seems to graze the demon's skin. What are you smiling at, freak? Kid yells as it gives a twisted, fang-laden smile. Clean the sweat off my brow and try to keep focused. However, I can't help but notice the demon's eyes amidst all this. It got such an unsettling quality to them, almost as though this thing harbors some sort of unimaginable intelligence. Wait, what am I saying? I can't get lost in that thing's mind now. Everybody knows these things can trap your spirit with their eyes alone. I don't know that. All of a sudden, the demon starts to mutter something. A second later, it bursts into flames. In a few moments, the flames die out and the demon is no more, gone without a trace. I know you can meet that demon like in the prison as well. I've done that before, but not with the leeches. What the? Vagonesiness sets in as I look around. Not a single scrap of evidence remains from that entire encounter. Was any of that even real? I really think I'm starting to get a hang of this whole fighting thing. I'm barely hurt at all. Not bad, Serge. Not bad at all, Kid says, catching my eye. A few moments pass and she's still staring at me, smiling. Oh man, what'd I do? Should I say something? I look away after a nervous moment, but full of glee. I can never handle this kind of thing. Those baby blues of hers get me every time. So what this is, after every random encounter, this is basically telling you how much health you have and what standing with Kid you have. So like the health points and the Kid points. So as it said, getting the hang of this, like I can do this like I'm not hurt, and also it just says that Kid likes you. So it's a little stat screen post battle, very hidden. Come to a branch after a ways. To our right lies the staircase going up, while the start of a dark passageway is directly ahead. Going down the passageway. I'm gonna talk to Riddle, and I think there's nothing more than just exposition. See through the dark passageway. Before long, we're greeted with a beautiful ornate set of doors on the right. These are the quarters of Riddle, links it up to daughter. Come to a comfortably decorated room. Small trinkets have been placed on the desk and shelves, adding some charm. The owner of this room has obviously gone to great lengths to try and bring a somewhat graceful lifestyle into this otherwise dark mansion. Still, the room seems to carry an unsettling stillness with it. Is someone there? I instantly hid behind the door, trying to figure out where that voice came from. It sounded like a girl, but it wasn't Kid. Slinks is adopted daughter, Riddle. It has to be her. Odd. I could have sworn I heard someone come in, she says. Apparently she hasn't seen us yet. What will we do? Keep myself hidden behind the door. Suddenly Kid bolts out from behind a chair. She suddenly comes up behind Riddle, putting a knife to her throat. Come for the frozen flame. Where is it? Kid yells in a low, strict voice. Kid, there's no need to be like that, I say, trying to calm her down. Quiet, sir. Riddle giggles at the two of us. What's so funny? Kid says in a tight tone. Oh, come on. You can't be thieves. You're far too noisy. I wouldn't be saying such things if I was you. Well then, go ahead and cut me. At that moment, I picture in my head Riddle collapsing with a blue face smeared in blood. Kid, look at her. She's not going to hurt us. Damn it. Alright. Still, don't think I'm not keeping an eye on you. The feeling is mutual, Riddle says. Don't worry, we're not your enemies. We're not after your power, I say to Riddle, trying to keep cool. We just come to talk. If there's anything you could tell us about the Frozen Flame or perhaps the Acacia Dragoons. I keep reading dragoons as dragons. Hearing these words, a somber look comes over Riddle's face. After a moment, she begins to speak. Frozen Flame, it was kept in a kingdom to the north for centuries, legend has it. With its subtle, mysterious power, it allegedly could guide people and change history, all while somehow remaining elusive to those who sought it, or so I have heard. The time of that kingdom's downfall, it was seized from its resting place, passed from hand to hand, finally it came into the possession of my father, General Viper. Lynx approached my father as a friend years ago. Blindly trusting him, my father was taken advantage of by Lynx, unable to realize his true intentions. And so on that fateful day, struck down by his alleged friend, my father was robbed and left for dead. Averting her eyes, Riddle buries her face in her hands. I didn't know. Lynx was behind all this at the time it took me into custody. It was just a child. Cursed rock. I didn't know anything about it, and I don't want to. I don't want to have anything to do with it. With nothing more to see this all come to an end, she says, with tears in her eyes. Taken aback, hearing these words. Suddenly McGill comes forward to speak. You know the old man who currently is locked away in the catacombs? The traitor, because of him, my father, my dear surrounder. Please, miss. Turning her back on us, Real pauses. After a moment, she turns around, letting out a deep sigh. Yes, I know the man of whom you speak. Look at this anime-ass woman. He's like... So far, she does not really fit into the vibe of this game. Mostly it's because she's so, like, visible. You get a really good look of her, you know. He's an Acacia Dragoon, is he not, McGill? He was, before he spent the countless days and nights locked up in the torture chamber, losing his mind as well as his identity in the process. I remember the day they removed him from that dreadful room, beat him within an inch of his life. The torture chamber you speak of, it is the room upstairs with the trap ceiling, correct? Riddle nods silently. Perhaps we may find a clue to his past there, says McGill. I had hoped it wouldn't come to this. If you must search that room, be sure you have the Iron Lancer with you before you do. What? Kid says? It's a holy white sword created long ago by ancient sages along with its demonic brother, the Masamune. Ooh, Chrono Trigger lore, you know? Lore.
Yusika? Wanna hang out? Wanna come?
Yusika is staring at me.
She just woke up.
She's been sleeping this whole time.
Yusika? Yusika? You wanna come?
She don't wanna come, she's just sitting there. It was the Acacia Dragoon's most prized weapon. It once glided through the air in Surrounder's hand, shimmering like a star. Now, however, the Dragoons are all but extinct, and the sword has been stored somewhere in this mansion as though it was some sort of trivial memento. It is much more than a common sword, though. Shielded by its magical enchantment, its bearer will be protected against many forms of evil. Thinking of those memories of days long gone, again, Riddle hangs her head in sadness. I wish I could be more of a help to you, I apologize. That was plenty. No. I read that now. No, that was plenty, Kid says, heading out of the room. But I wish I was more powerful like you people, Riddle says, biting her lip. Stopping in the doorway, Kid looks over her shoulder. Strength didn't get us here. Power comes from believing in yourself. I see. I wish you luck. She heads out of the room. Kid mutters. Hope it ain't bad luck. To the storeroom because there was a sword in the corner. Whew. We're very soon entering the end part of this game. Because we're gonna get the sword, go up the tower, find a clue, go back to the old man, and then we know how to enter the hidden final part where we'll face Lynx. Go to the terrace. I am gonna finish it. I've been going for 2.5 hours, but it's not It's not too long, you know. Before my kid comes to an abrupt stop, my knife's ready, but all I can see is darkness. Then, from up ahead, I start to hear a clattering noise. Whatever it is, it's coming closer and closer. But now we're getting to random encounters. Goblins. It's the sound of an iron armor clanking against stone floor, I'm sure of it. Grip my knife and stand ready. Instantly getting a taste of the situation, grab my knife and fix my stance, exchanging glances with Kid. She seems to be ready for anything. Don't get ahead of yourself, mate, she says with an ornery smile. Okay, let's do this. The goblins amount to 5 in all. Seem more intelligent from the usual fare, probably due to some awful form of education in human torture and suffering. Each of them is as tall as McGill, but at least twice as thick. Each of them is equipped with a morning star as well as a mace at the side. These chain-bound spiked metal balls look deadly enough from here. I hope they aren't as skillful with those things as I think they are. Laughing heartily at us, the one in front starts to swing its morning star over its head. Taking a step towards me, what do I do now? Look back as it swings. Not a single moment after I leap back, the iron ball smashes into the store floor. I can't rely on this little knife to parry those huge morning stars. There's no way I'll survive fighting like that. Coming off into the chest. Before I can let this opportunity pass me by, I instantly lounge my razor-sharp blade straight into the goblin.
Is it go?
I planted the knife deep within its chest. Pulling it out after a few seconds, our rugged hand suddenly seizes my arm. Glancing up the hideous, wretched face of an adrenaline-filled goblin stares down at me, waiting to labor its revenge upon me. Its glistening saliva drips down from its huge fangs, mere inches from my face. Punch it in the face. Give thing a good smack or two upside the head, a face that resort to poke it in the eyes. Man, it did not like that at all. However, for the time being, I'm freed of its grip. Leap away from the thing and ready my knife. Stab it in hard. The knife's edge disappears into the goblin's chest. The goblin looks down, but then it looks back up towards me a moment later. Infuriated, it picks me up with both hands, setting me flying through the air. I crash into a wall, but try to instantly pick myself up, my adrenaline acting as a reflex due to the weight of my situation. Blood is rushing out of the goblin's gaping wound. It's in a lot of pain, but these things just never seem to die. Fear starts to run through my body as the hideous, bleeding thing starts to take a step towards me. I've got no weapon left. I'm no match for this thing, toe to toe. Then it stumbles. Then again, its whole body starts to tremble before falling to the floor moments later. Looking around at the victor before me, I let out a sigh of relief. "See, I got one, eh, mate?" I showed him. I want to say something back, but I'm so tired. I just stand there, ready for anything. They got all the rest. He's got one. Phew, you okay, mate? Yeah, I'm not bad. Got some bruises here and there, but nothing too serious. You? Oh, are you kidding? Kicked that thing's arse so bad it didn't even have time to say its prayers. Yeah, we did pretty good back there, didn't we? Not bad, sir. Not bad at all, Kid says, catching my eye. A few moments pass and she's staring. Okay, it's the same stat screen, you know. Yes. Gonna go to the storage room. Continue. It's a clock tower storeroom, if I remember correctly. Open the door. The room is quiet except for the sound of the gears. There's no sign of the hooded lady anywhere. I rush over towards the sword. Looking down at it, McGill starts to speak. This may be what we're looking for. By the looks of it, this sword could be the fabled Holy Iron Lancer, or perhaps the demonic Masamune. Wow, McGill, you know about the Masamune? Did you ever know its owner? Yes. Was he your mate? So it was one of your enemies then? No? Well, hey sir, take this thing. It's very sweet. He's just like... He can't say Frog is his friend. But Frog is also not his enemy, you know? Very little detail. Because... McGill is of course... Magus from Chrono Trigger. Just has a mask. So that's that character. Or well, I guess it's inferred, but like it's... This is one of those parts where like... He does know Frog. Frog is from Chrono Trigger. He had the Masamune. That was his weapon in this world. Huh? Come on, you don't expect a fair maiden like me to carry this bulky thing all over the place, do you? Well, swallow pride and pick it up. I grip my teeth and remind myself it would get me absolutely nowhere to argue with her. So I go to Kid's side and pick up the sword, just like I was told to. Oof! Jeez, it's heavy. Okay, let's get our arses to that bloody torture chamber. I can almost smell the frozen flame from here. Follow Kid out of the room, dragging the heavy sword. We're not going into that door. To the stairs. Kid in lead, we ascend the narrow past staircase and nearly slip and fall on one of the damn stairs, bracing myself against the cold walls. I keep on climbing. Come to the old stoic looking door, waiting for us silently atop the staircase. Enter. Look up, remembering the deadly ceiling. I'm definitely not going to repeat the mistake of overstaying my welcome here, especially after hearing what Riddle had to say. Somewhere inside this room there has to be something that will bring that old man back. But what? Just as I thought, McGill says dryly, examining the cracks in the floor. Kid and I walk over, kneeling down where he's at. Between the cracks between the floor stones, there's a thick, smelly, butter-like substance that's been jammed into it, among the stains of blood. Without warning, the door suddenly slammed shut. It started again. Okay, what will we do? Oh no, it's Temple of Doom all over. Look at that mode 7 ass effect. We have to use the sword somehow, Kid yells, her voice almost inaudible thanks to the ceiling's deafening screeching. But how? Thrust the sword at the kid? No, thrust it into the ground. With as much power as I can muster, I lift the heavy sword up and plunge it down into a crack in the center of the floor. I kind of want to see what happens if you do it to Kid, although now I have done that. And it's like, I'm pretty sure that's a time decision, so if you don't, you will just get hurt. I lift the heavy sword up and plunge it down into a crack in the center of the floor. A huge jolt runs through the room. Bolts of light scatter in all four directions from the sword, running along the floor and up the walls. Hello! A bunch of people, thanks. Thanks for watching. We're playing Radical Dreamers and having a little story time because it's a text game, you know. So we're just having a little cozy while, you know. Also light scatter in all four directions from the sword, running along the floor and up the walls. Reaching the ceiling, the deadly contraption groans and then comes to a halt. Exhausted and relieved, I collapse to the floor. After a minute, I catch my breath and open my eyes. Strange. Now that I've taken a look at the inscription found earlier, there's a certain stone just beside it that doesn't seem to have any cement around it. Walk over to it. Kid tugs on it and finds that it's loose. Removing the heavy stone, a dim glistening light can be seen from far within the hole. Kid reaches in and carefully removes the shimmering object. A beautifully decorated gold ring sits in the palm of her hand. It's adorned with a slender set of leaves, like those of a fern, decorated with 5 small rubies around it. The Acacian coat of arms, McGill says. Kid tries the ring on, but strangely enough, it doesn't seem to fit on any of her fingers. This ring must mean something to the old man. We could use it to break through his wall, couldn't we? I excitedly asked McGill, already knowing the answer. He nods in silence. Yeah, this has to be it. Abandoning the Iron Lancer, now proudly standing upright like a beacon of light amidst this dismal room, we hurry out of the torture chamber, hopefully never to return again. And we don't. Let's see, we're gonna... Key leading the way with the center stairs. This is reading ahead of it. Says I'm gonna go to the ballroom. I don't think you need to do that, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Like, not now. That's where the hidden door is. We can't open it yet. Gonna proceed on ahead then. Continue through the passageway. After a while, we arrive at a beautifully decorated set of double doors. Enter. It seems to be Wiper Manor's ballroom. Beautiful decorative ornaments rest on a large table in the center of this huge hall. Rows of huge pillars are lined up on both sides, adorned with sculptures of birds and various other animals. At the far end of the room sits a everything is huge and gigantic. Organ, taking up the entirety of the wall. Its pitch black aura beckons us. A countless number of candles provide a soft flickering luminescence to the room. Everything around us shimmers in the dim candlelight. Various portraits have been hung high up on the walls, depicting all sorts of well-dressed people. From what I can gather, they're high-quality oil paintings. They all have a similar sort of morbid gaze in their eyes, though. Who could these be? Lynx's relatives, maybe? Of these, a portrait of a young lady in a pink dress catches my eye. Wait, what was that? I swear she looked at me just then. Come on, Serge. Time to put away the ghost stories. It's just my imagination acting up again, I tell myself. It's probably a trick of light caused by a flickering candle or something. The oil's glossy finish distorted the image for a second or two. Yeah, that's what happened. But, I don't know. This room's blood is strange. Kid sees it too. She has to have seen it. I suggest we look elsewhere, McGill says suddenly. Kid and I offer no objections. I can count them, that's two. Yeah. We leave the ballroom, heading back through the passageway. After a bit of walking, we come to a three-way split in the path. I'm gonna go down. These walking sections is going through the same corridors. I mean, I guess this is kind of a little victory lap. I missed that stairs. You go in like the deepest recesses of the mansion, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, go to the far side of it again, and then go back again." Archway. Turn to the atrium. From across the way, we can see another archway leading off into darkness. To the room. That statue is so metal. It is a cool statue, a little gargoyle ass devil baby. I don't know. Also, that room really reminds me of like Resident Evil 1. That's totally a Resident Evil 1 puzzle where like, huh, what's this? Oh no, piranhas in the water. We're stairs, let's go. After a bit of walking, we come to an old looking door with a brass handle. No matter how many times I return here, I don't think I'll ever get any more use to this place. Go in. Return to the old man. Miguel walks up to the cell and grasps the iron bars. He positions his feet and starts to pull away at the bars with incredible intensity. After a moment, the bars start to bend like taffy. Miguel enters the first through the newly created opening. Kid follows, kneeling down before the mumbling old man. Putting her hands on the old man's shoulders, Kid tries to look into his eyes, but he continues to stare at the floor. Frustrated, she starts to shout at him, shaking him vigorously. Come on, old fella, get up! The old man's head shakes back and forth like a rag doll's, but his eyes remain averted. Try to stop, Kid. Apparently you can do whatever here. Radical Dreamers would sound good in the Resident Evil title screen voice. Radical Dreamers 4. You know, if I ever make a Radical Dreamers video, that's like an actual Radical Dreamers video, I would do a joke about that, because the Radical Dreamers in Resident Evil, like the same year, walking around a mansion, it's a little bit survival horror-ish. It's these little pre-rendered scenes. Like, you could totally do like a Resident Evil Radical Dreamers font and voice joke. I come between Kid and old man. Kid looks at me with straightforward eyes. Don't get in the way, Serge. Kid, look at him, I say. Being agitated is the last thing he needs right now. After I'm done with him, this old geezer is gonna be brimming with old stories. As Kid shifts her weight onto her other knee, suddenly the occasion the ring falls out of her pocket, falls down to the ground, and bouncing once, twice, 3 times, comes to a stop right before the old man's eyes. Trying to get Kid to calm down, I signal for her to look over to the man, who's now smiling faintly. The ring, he says in a voice so quiet it's barely audible. However, his eyes quickly return to their murky state. Finally, my Alice, you have returned. Because of me, the frozen flame was seized, and I have desecrated the name of the Acacia Dragoons. I am the only one left, but you have returned. Ah, murky the surrender. Now that we are once again reunited, let us all head back to Stike Lake. Geez, listen, mister. The frozen flame, where is it? Any small hint will help. Come on. Frozen flame? The old man asks. A warm smile streaks across his face. Ah, my dear Miss Riddle, I have not seen you in quite some time. Surely you have not forgotten the secret entranceway. Yeah, I think you could tell me about it again, Gramps? Kid asks, trying to sound as ladylike as possible. In the ballroom, 3rd candlestick on the left. Kid hugs the old man, ecstatic, and so he resumes his mumbling in that distant, shuddering voice. Please forgive me for your father. I beg you, Riddle, the dragoons. It's high time for you to bust down out of here, old man, Kid says, pointed to the bent iron bars. However, he once again refuses to look up. Come on, with all we can do here. He's got to walk through these bars himself. Thanks, old timer. Apparently I can do like an optional thing here with a mirror. Nothing big, but I'm gonna do it. Turn right. Because now we're heading into the ending now. I was gonna fall in a grate. Oh. I'm not gonna take the stairs yet. We're gonna go down the passageway. Okay, random counter. It's ahead of me. I bump into the kid who's come to a complete stop. Something's wrong, mate. I stop my breath, trying to listen for anything. Then, out of the darkness, clunk, clunk, clunk. Is it fucking goblins again? Something's ahead of us on the path, whatever it is, it's coming for us. I nervously unsheath my knife, trying to ignore my anxiety with this inevitable confrontation. Now only moments away. No, it's a skeleton! Quick, what will we do? Attack! Shout out, fearlessly dashing towards the skeleton. As soon as I come within attacking range, the skeleton immediately swings its huge sword down at me. The tip of the sword skims my cheek. Ah! I cry, leaping to the side in haste. Oh, wait to dodge, mate, the kid shouts from beside me. The skeleton takes a step forward with his sword in hand. As McGill begins to move in on it, it raises its arms overhead. Staring at him with a strange look in its eyes, McGill suddenly stops dead in his tracks. Oh, fuck a Skelly. A bone boy. Skellers. McGill snap out of it, a shout, with his eyes totally glazed over, completely unaware of his situation. What am I going to do? Attack. Start to bolt towards the gruesome creature. Avoiding a deadly slash by its rusty sword, I aim a kick for the skeleton's midsection. With that, the skeleton breaks into two, toppling down to the ground as I carefully back away. As the skull hits the ground, it shatters into countless pieces. McGill just got really scared of skeletons, you know. His one fear. Bones. What's up with you back there, kid shouts at McGill, her eyes firmly planted on him. Snap out of it already. McGill blinks a few times, dazed. He seems to be alright now. Phew. McGill was just like... Yeah, I'm not... it's just a little stat screen. Kick that thing's R so bad it didn't even have time to say its prayers. Still staring at me, smiling, man. What do I do? Should I say something? I look away after a nervous moment, but felt clear. I can never handle this kind of thing. Those baby blues first get me every time. See through the dark passageway. Before long, we're greeted with a beautiful ornate set of doors on the right. Of course, Riddle. We're not gonna talk to Riddle. We're gonna continue on through the passageway. A little while, the dark passageway ends at a polished, well set of doors. Link's quarters. Oh man, I can feel kids boiling from here. Go into the room. Lynx! What? Lynx is here? I rush into the room behind the kid, unsheathing my knife in a flash of adrenaline. Where is he? Beside me, a kid says, "Gotcha." Oh, kid! You big goof. Were you scared? She asks, giggling. Oh, sheesh. Don't do that to me, huh? As Lord Lynx returned to the room, a high, alto voice asks. Call her kid because she's always kidding. It's true. Kid and I glance at each other, giggling. No, he isn't here right now. Ah, Master Surge, is there something I can answer for you? The statue asked in a pleasant voice. Or perhaps you'd be interested in this lovely gift I have for you. Huh? A gift? Well, a modest token of my appreciation for you and your comrades, I present you with a personal invitation into the realm of the Looking Glass, if you're interested. Wow, really? Yes, but we must hurry. Time is of the essence. I look towards the dark, rippling surface of the mirror. Slowly, I reach my hand out towards it. Feels like my hand is being submerged in water, passing straight into the mirror. Suddenly, there's a slight pull. I try to retract my arm, but the harder I pull, the further it seems to be getting drawn in. Master Surge, take your hand out quickly. Just then, a crack streaks across the mirror. What's going on? Amidst my struggling, I see a crack start to streak down the mirror's glass. Save yourself, Master Surge, please, before I am forced to consume you. What? Kid starts pulling with me, despite the increased force drawing me in. I am now up to my shoulders in this thing. On the count of 3, I yell. 1, 2, 3! We stumble backwards, falling onto the couch. I look at my arms in a daze. It's fine. Shaking myself off, I return to the mirror, now even more cracked since I last saw it. Lynx plan to seal you all in a mirror, the statue says, sobbing. Each time it speaks, another crack seems to be running into it. This isn't all. I had alerted Lynx. This isn't all. I had alerted Lord Lynx of your presence long before you had known of me. Why? Lynx has already taken away everything I have. He refused to allow me to leave Viper Manor, coercing me to be the Manch's eyes and ears, promising he would someday set me free. Hanging her head low, the Venus statue speaks in a quiet, solemn voice. However, it was simply another one of Lord Lynx's schemes. No freedom is worth stealing another's for. I would rather destroy myself than become another murderer. As yet another crack appears, a large piece of the mirror breaks off, falling to the ground. No, don't, I yell, grasping the mirror. A huge crack streaks across the mirror, preventing me from seeing almost any of the statue. The statue's lips can be seen moving faintly from beyond the now heavily cracked mirror, but no words can be heard. So sad. The mirror friend is dead. I silently bend down and gather up all the shards. Putting them on the desk, I look into the kaleidoscope of reflections. Surge? From behind me, I hear Kid's voice. Let's go, mate. As I leave the room, I quietly look over my shoulder, looking at the smashed mirror. I stop for a second, hoping to hear a voice, but all I hear is silence. Yes, we like the mirror. The mirror's friend. The mirror's a friend. It shows us stuff. Helped us find a key earlier. Now we're gonna rip the mirror. Gonna head back to the ballroom and gonna meet Lord Lynx. Meet our maker. Yes, we're gonna take the stairs. Hopefully no random encounters. Send a staircase. Exciting, yeah. Gonna check out a little bit in the guide. There's nothing important to remember apart from the double circle, but I have that. Yeah, because apparently in the end you can just do whatever. No matter what you choose, the result is the same. Don't let the menus time out. Okay. Well, it's gonna have a good time then. It's gonna have a good time with the ending of this game. Countless number of candles spectacularly illuminate this huge room. Appreciative Serge always remarks on the great craftsmanship of the doors. It's a good eye for like just craftsmanship. It's just like, oh, this a really nice door, you know, feels good. He likes doors. Also, another Resident Evil connection, you know, the really nice doors, the little transitions in the darkness. They're not a loading screen; they're just a little transition, I guess. Countless number of candles spectacularly illuminate this huge room. An old-fashioned grandfather clock stands on the right, ticking away with a morbid stillness. I step into the center of the hall, looking upwards at the oil canvases shimmering in the low light. Okay, third one on the left, Kid says quietly. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. As Kid slowly pushes against the candlestick, it starts to move slowly. What's going on? I stammer, trying to brace myself. This entire room is slowly sinking to the ground, McGill says. The ballroom is sinking? All of it? Suddenly, the room starts to fall much faster. Chills run down my spine as I look around, seeing the paintings smacking against the walls and the candles dropping to the floor. They should have dropped before in the picture. As I start to get used to the sinking sensation, my heart fills with a violent mixture of anxiety, expectation, and hope. What awaits us at the bottom? The frozen flame. Could it really be down here? Is this our adventure's end? What if we actually take it into our hands? Kid, McGill, I wonder what they're feeling right now. As the room continues to sink underground like an elevator to hell, I start to hear Kid speak in a soft, meek voice. Sometimes I do struggle to win, even when I know I've already lost. Just like that lady said. Why do I do that? Looking over at her, I realize this isn't the Kid I usually see. There, a faint, shy smile can be seen across her face. Suddenly, I feel something so powerful go through me. It feels like a wave of fire surging through my heart. I can say whatever. Is it fate? Fate? Life? I don't even know anymore. But with links, nothing's set in stone. But sometimes it feels like there's something inside me, guiding me, no matter what I do. It won't matter because I know it'll be showing me what to do next. Wow, what am I saying? Crazy talk, Kid says, smiling faintly. I don't know what to feel hearing this. Kids always put on a strong face no matter what, seemingly embracing terror when it comes. But right now I can't help but feel the weight of the situation bearing down on us. It's the entrance to Disney's Haunted Mansion. I haven't been to Disney World, but I heard something about like extending like paintings in some elevator room or something. So maybe this is not impossible that I took inspiration from something like that. If you take these matters with a grain of salt, like Kid seems to, it's easy to live a day life, but like she does. As I look in her face, that strange expression of hers relieves me. I'm sorry, all this talk ain't me, Kid says, scrounging her noise. Instantly returning to her serious gaze, she says, but thanks, Serge, McGill. Thanks for coming here, because with this, maybe down the road I'll have another chance. Huh? Nothing. Forget it, Kid says as she closes her eyes, smiling. As usual, she sends me into deep thought. While only barely visible, McGill stands silently amidst the shadows, effortlessly balanced, with her closed eyes. As I look around at my companions, I wonder what awaits us. We share a calm silence in our hearts as we continue to descend far below ground. Suddenly, a metallic grinding sound can be heard from all around us. The room comes to a stop, swaying a bit. Guess this is our stop, Kid says with a hollow laugh. I stand motionless, staring at Kid and McGill in the dim, flickering luminescence. Suddenly, the organ comes to life. Looking back towards the monster's thing, no one is even near it. Nevertheless, it continues to play its strange, twisted tune, the keys and pedals moving wildly on their own. Spooky, it's a haunted mansion. Sounds like a funeral march. He's kidding. Bad joke, kid. Alright, let's do this, Kid says, taking a deep breath as she heads for the door. I'm glad to McGill, nodding my head as we follow her out. It's a funeral march, alright. Lynx's, that is. Start down the long, dark path in front of us. The air down here carries a thick stench of death. Somewhere further down this passageway, Lynx's subterranean hideout awaits. Kid gets a strange look on her face. I can't imagine what must be going through her head right now. McGill, on the other hand, I can never read him. But still, we usually talk a little, lightening things up. But right now, nobody's making a sound. Try to offer some conversation, hoping to avoid increasing tension. So I can ask here 2 questions, and both are pretty interesting. And I can only answer one, so we're gonna use a save state to just get both because it's kind of cool. So we released this frozen flame thing. No response. And so they start to think no one's going to answer. McGill starts to speak, slow voice echoing throughout the stone corridor. It was said to be a gem which soothes soul scars, granting eternal life to its owner. Or so people believed. The frozen flame is more than just an object. It's not of this world. It descended from the heavens long ago, part of a huge meteorite. Once there lived a people who sought to harness its powers, hoping to tap into their yet unknown potential, and so it became a treasure of great importance and dreams. However, whether a gift which bestows power is actually a blessing or a curse is another question altogether. Since the birth of humanity, at least one entire race has fallen because of it. These people once built a great thriving metropolis with this power, but now all knowledge of this era has been completely lost within the sands of time. A faint feeling of distress comes across McGill's voice throughout his speech. Then, how do you know about all this, I ask. Again, no answer. Keeping silent, I continue walking. Our footsteps once again become the only sound filling this dark path. Well, whether any of that's true or not, it'll all lead us to the same place. See your praise, Lynx, we're coming for you. That's all I know, and that's plenty. Frozen flame. What in the world could Lynx see in that mysterious rock? Flurry thoughts, I pause for a moment to take a deep breath and calm myself. Continuing on, a moment later, I feel as though I'm a bit more at peace. Okay, we're gonna... Because if you played Chrono Trigger, they were talking about the Lavos meteorite and the Kingdom of Seal. And it just kind of emerges here at the end. And that's how Masato Kato wrote this. He started writing this story as, its own thing. But he couldn't let go of Chrono Trigger. So it just ended up being Chrono Trigger. At this point, he's kind of realized that this is a Chrono Trigger story. So I was gonna ask, why are we after a frozen flame? My question is met with nothing but a cold gaze from Kid. There's no response from her. Actually, now that I think about it, I haven't heard Kid talk much about anything in her past ever. But then, just as I think I'm not going to be answered, she starts to speak. I made a promise with my big sis to get the frozen flame and bury it for her. Bury it for her? Where? At her old friend's grave. Kid looks down at her feet, continuing. I was still ill at the time, so I can't remember much of it. But there was this friend of hers who she'd grown up with, who died a while back. She said she wanted him to be able to rest with the frozen flame. I don't know what she meant by that, but after what happened at the temple, I vowed to get my revenge and honor what she wanted. I stayed silent, not knowing what kind of reply to offer. I should have talked more about it before I got you involved in everything, I guess, she says after a while. It's bad, Serge. With nothing but the sound of our footsteps echoing around us, we continue on deeper and deeper into the passageway. So, what Kid was talking about here was Luca's orphanage, and her dead friend is Chrono, because this game kind of presumes that you didn't resurrect Chrono, so she's gonna honor Chrono's memory with the frozen flame. That's my reading, but it's pretty if you put everything together, it's pretty clear that that's what it's about. I think it's pretty cool, you know. Now we're gonna have to remember the little trick, little tip we got. The 3 right, 2 left, 2 right, because this is the cool part. The really cool visuals. The devil circle. This is like a real cool scene. Suddenly McGill comes to a stop. Do not move. Huh? Kid and I look around suspiciously. Around us, bones are scattered in all directions. Many of them have been cut cleanly in half. Looking around more, amidst the dim light, I start to see that the walls have been splattered with blood. Then, suddenly, a trace of light catches my eye from behind. There's a bolt of electricity approaching us, sparkling like a lit fuse on the ground. Coming within a few feet of us, the spark splits off into 2, forming a circle around us. Once the circle is complete, an odd glow starts to shine at our feet. Then, from where the sparks had traced, light shoots upwards, forming a wall of light all around us. It's a devil circle. Try to move, but we find ourselves caught within the rays of light. I like the best view we get of these characters, by the way, like ever in the game. With the scalding, noisy wind swirling around us, all I see are rays of shimmering light in every direction I look. What do I do? Can't see anything in all this light. McGill grabs me by the shoulder and returns me to the center of the circle. Thankfully, he seems to be able to see us fine, his mask probably shielding his eyes from the radiance. There is always a way out of the devil circle. We must find the gaps to walk through. You say so. Suddenly, Kid's elbow grazes one of the walls. Sparks scatter in all directions. She instantly snaps her arm back, wincing in pain. Unable to see any gaps whatsoever, I hesitantly start to make my way towards the blinding wall of light. It takes 3 steps to the right. Come on, to the right a little. There. Come on now. From where we stand, a small gap in the wall can be seen all of a sudden. Holding my breath, I leap into it with my arms shielding my face. Alright, we made it through. However, I open my eyes only to see even more of these glimmering walls swirling before us. Unable to see any gaps whatsoever, I accidentally start to make my way towards the blinding wall of light. I take 2 steps to the left. We've got to go to the left a little. There, come on now. From where we stand, a small gap in the wall can be seen all of a sudden. Holding my breath, I leap into it with my arms shielding my face. Alright, we made it through. However, I open my eyes only to see even more of these glimmering walls swirling before us. Unable to see any gaps whatsoever, I hesitantly start to make my way towards the blinding wall of light. I take 2 steps to the right. To the right, slowly. There! Come on now. Where we stand, a small gap in the wall can be seen all of a sudden. Holding my breath, I leap into it with my arms shielding my face. It's very cool. I really like that scene. Scurry away from the blood-curdling thing as fast as I can. Looking back, I see it vanish in a puff of smoke just as quickly as it arrived. The wind instantly dies down as well, and all of the dust and grime that was blowing around falls back to the floor in a flash. Everything has returned to a quiet stillness. Too quiet. Rat friend really helped us out, you know. Here's a cheer to our rat friend. And so, heading down the hallway further and further, eventually, at last, Kid steps towards the mighty set of doors, letting out a sigh of relief. What a beautiful door. Beyond this door, the frozen flame. From behind his mask, McGill's eyes let loose a cool radiance. Okay, let's go, Kid says eagerly, grasping the handle. Are you ready? Whoa! This cavern sprawls out to great lengths before our eyes. A forgotten world, hidden deep below ground. And with a scarlet radiance, a single small gem shimmers in the darkness. The frozen flame. Finally, we're here. The jewel shimmers warmly, almost as if it's responding to Kid's voice. Taking a few steps into the moist cavern, McGill whispers, "Remarkable, intact ruins of the lost magical kingdom." You know, seal. It's a Chrono Trigger, you know. Just as I started to ask McGill what it means, just as I start to ask McGill what it means, a taunting laugh can be heard from high above us. Lynx! Magical Kingdom, it's a Disney Haunted Mansion. I mean, it could be as well. It could be about Disney World. Kate immediately pulls out her knife and hurls it through the air with all her might. As it approaches Link, he easily swats it out of the way, almost too quickly for me to see. Always the same, such a savage little girl. Can't you give a gentleman an honest greeting? You bastard, Kid interrupts. And what have we here? The notorious Shadow Walker. I wouldn't be trying anything like last time if I were you. Beside me, I see McGill come to a stop. Lord Lynx, he looks nothing like he does in Chrono Cross, by the way. He looks like a little rat boy here. Wiper Manor's deadly owner. The very same man who murdered Kid's sister, deceived Riddle's father, and eradicated the Acacia Dragoons. Welcome back, Kid. I see you have successfully taken the bait, gluttonous as ever. What? Kid says hesitantly, taking a step back. Link stares down at her with those frighteningly piercing eyes of his. You see, Kid, I brought you here because of the rock you carry. Which rock? Surely you remember, the one you received from your sister all those years ago. The priceless keepsake you carry with you dearly even now. The Chrono Trigger! Oh my god! How'd you know about that? Kid's gaze returns to a skull. No matter, we're here for the frozen flame. You're finished, you bastard. Ah yes, toss your little treats around, but remember, no matter how many times you think you have won, I have generously demonstrated how gravely you are mistaken. And with that, Lynx unsheaths a beautiful golden saber. Previously, I've overlooked doing away with you, letting you carry on with your pathetic little life. However, this time I may not be so generous. Kid takes another step back, glaring at Lynx as he approaches. Lynx, you murderer, I'll never forgive you for Luca. This ends here and now. It's Chrono Trigger, you know? It's fucking Chrono Trigger. And so, Kid leaps into the air in a fit of rage, aiming a kick in between Lynx's eye. This song kind of slaps though. Let's just listen to it, man. Yeah, I mean, I keep between Lynx's eyes. However, just as she reaches him, he swiftly dodges. Kid stands there, wondering how she could have missed. Beside her, Lynx laughs, taunting her. Jumping up once again, Kid lets loose a fierce kick. Skimming the tip of his nose, her kick cuts through nothing but air. In a parry attack, Lynx sends his razor-sharp golden saber through the air. But Kid's already leapt back. The two face each other, only a few feet apart. If only you had been a bit faster, Kid, Lynx says, smiling. All of a sudden, a line of red streaks across Kid's face. Kid! Wiping off the blood, Kid angrily rushes Lynx in a flash through the air. Effortlessly dodging, Lynx drives the sword into her back as soon as she lands. Kid bends back in alarming pain, somehow staying on her feet. She stumbles back and readies herself to charge again. Stupid little brat! Lynx lands an elbow on the kid's shoulder, knocking her clear down to the ground. I feel her pain from the pit of my stomach as I start to see blood trickling from her lips. What's wrong, little girl? Once again, the kid tries to lash out to Lynx, but he easily kicks her, sending her back into a pile of rubble. He's too strong. He's too strong. Lynx then looks upward, focusing his concentration on the ceiling. As I look up, I see a number of rocks have become dislodged from the cavern, tumbling down onto her. Kid! I call out as I start to rush over to her. However, just as soon as I start to, I see McGill's already there. He streaked across the shadows, putting himself between Lynx and Kid. Saying nothing, Lynx shoots a thread of white light out of his fingertips. The thread-like substance entangles McGill, binding his feet together. He hits the ground with a thud. In a dazzling radiance, a countless number of threads fly out from Lynx's fingertips. They immobilize McGill completely, leaving only his head visible. How does that feel, Shadow Walker? Have you felt my webs start to drain your life energy yet? Lynx says, smiling ominously. Grrr. Kid, McGill, what am I going to do? Stand up, Lynx. Look over to Lynx and fearlessly start running towards him. However, Lynx instantly sees me and takes a quick swing. Immediately dodging, the sword barely misses my shoulder. Shit! Yeah, they didn't say that in the official version. It's like, kid, he's unknowingly managed to slice into me. Young man, spare yourself and give up now! He strangles me with his long, disgusting fingers. It's not the official translation, it's the old Demi-Force translation from 2003. So it's 20 years old. Mostly because I have the official one on the PlayStation and it's just easier to play from the PC. He strangles me with his long, disgusting fingers. Then he starts to lift me up by my neck, struggling for air. I painfully hanging there, unable to tear myself free of his powerful grip. Look, kid, look at your pathetic little companion suffering. You can make this all stop if you want. I love making Lynx sound like a fucking dork. With blood dripping from her lips, Kid opens one of her eyes, painfully gasping and coughing. She lifts her head up to us. She still wants to get up, but she's hurt far too badly. Surge! Hand over the chrono trigger, kid. Hand over the chrono trigger, kid. Little do you know, but that rock is actually a tiny condensed universe. When combined with a frozen flame, it gains the power to bend space-time, allowing its owner to reshape history. This all could have never happened if you merely wish it. Saying this, Lynx looks towards me, expressionless. And what about you, young man? Perhaps you know where the chrono trigger is, he asks, tightening his grip. Surge! What are you going to do, kid? Can you afford to let this little boy die without helping? How would it feel to have his blood on your hands? As the Lynx grabs tighter and tighter, I find myself starting to lose it. Lynx's face becomes a blur. Suddenly, a kid's voice snaps me back to attention. Sorry, Surge. What should I do? Don't give it to him. Oh, don't do it. My consciousness fading. Stop. The stone here. Lynx looks over to Kid. His eyes light up as his hands loosen around my neck. Abandoning me, Lynx rushes over to her side. Here it is, Lynx. Kid reaches into her pocket. Lynx draws closer. Despite being drained of nearly all strength, Kid manages to whip her knife out, fiercely slashing at Lynx. Screaming viciously, Lynx falls back, cradling his mangled face. Blood starts to trickle down from between his fingers. You! Lynx staggers to his feet, keeping his right hand on the wound. I will have such fun killing you all. With as much power as she can muster, Kid kicks at Lynx, sweeping him off his feet. Ha! Spitting blood, Kid coughs a little, but still a smile manages to come through her agony. Kid! I run over towards her, still feeling the burning grip on my neck. Lynx turns to Kid, staring at her with his cold, evil gaze.
Child, you should beg for death soon enough. Every flavor of pain shall be yours. Prepare to join Luca.
Boys aren't doing shit here. Well, McGillis is kind of stuck in the lasso purgatory. and like Sergius used to do. Like, he's just a normal guy. He's just like, I have a little pocket knife. Like, hearing this kid's eyes slowly open and catch sight of Lynx. A red-hot gaze burns in her eyes. Slowly she rises to her feet. A shimmering light suddenly spurts out of the frozen flame. At the same time, a golden light bursts out of Kid's chest. Swirling around her, the light rises up, spreading outwards in a glistening spiral. What is this? Lynx gasps. Kid's voice calls out from deep within the shower of light. You will not win, Lynx. She trembles, her eyes flowing with red tears. And then a single voice can be heard. It's a deep, profound voice, the voice of undeniable honesty and truth. Long ago, in a far-off kingdom, lived a girl. Because of her power, the kingdom had come to an end, crumbling under its own weight. Many became engulfed in the temporal vortex that was created, never to be heard from again. But not the girl. She lived on, enduring a much sadder fate. Running from her past and fearing her future, she wanted nothing more than to be swallowed up in the surging waves of the vortex of time. Hating what she'd done, refusing what she'd said or heard, to simply continue living was her curse. But the stone had other plans for her. Turning back the hands of her clock, scattering her memories, she was granted another chance. Since the precious stone was in her possession, she carried with her all its will and power. And so, she was born into this era, returning to reality as a mere infant. And with that, the fragments of the shattered chrono trigger fall to the ground softly. The cavern before us slowly starts to come apart, bending inward and outwards like a tear in reality. Only we are completely removed from its existence. A single girl's voice resounds in the darkness. Please, this dark energy, make it stop. Wow, we're in Evo the Search for Eden? Losing all sense of reality and presence, I'd become engulfed in this realm, drifting aimlessly through the ages. The world flows, time dissolves, and people live and die. Can see it all within this mysterious ocean. I can see it all within this mysterious ocean. I missed the I. The origin of time. Every one of life's tranquilities is here. I can see myself as a baby, crying at my mother's side where she gives a warm, proud grin. I can see myself as an old man, softly smiling, knowing that death will come soon. Infinite versions of myself extend like ghosts throughout this endless corridor of time. Everywhere I look, I see another life, another era. In this unfolded existence, I see countless lives and countless dreams. Resting in eternity. A kind voice calls out to me. A single song. Those are realities where Surge is a dinosaur. Kid! Kid! Can you hear my voice? Kid! Answer me, kid. Please. Who? Who's calling my name? Surge. Where is this? Kid, you're here. That song. Beautiful song. Was Luca's favorite. Kid softly smiles, closing her eyes. I can see she can't help but shed a few tears for this long-lost reminiscence. The song is actually something I composed in my earlier years, back when I was a musician. Kid seems to be very fond of it. You call out to me, Surge. You call my name. Thank you. You won't leave me, will you? I'm here for you, kid. It all makes so much sense now. I know who I am, Surge. I know what I'm here for. Let's go back now, okay? I'm ready. Lynx has pinned Kid to the ground. Now you see your death. What'd I do? Protect Kid. Lynx will have to get through me if he wants to get to Kid. Oh, will I get to put you both out of your misery at once? Lynx raises his saber overhead, ready to plunge it into us. I wouldn't do that if I was you. Quickly turning my head and looking in the direction of the voice. You! There, under a large hood, stands the old woman from before. So, Vera, looks like poor couldn't keep their hands out of this after all, says Lynx, flatly. Good to see you again, Mr. Lynx. Seems you've seen better days. The old lady. She's from Poor? The frozen flame will take custody of it now. It seems none of you can decide on who the rightful owner should be. The old lady gives a small signal, and dozens of armed troops rush out from behind her, securing the cavern. I will not forget this, Vera, Lynx shouts, floating up into the air. Bring me with hatred, Lynx glances towards us. And you will see death by my hand. Saying this, Lynx vanishes into thin air. The soldiers untie McGill and start heading towards us. The old woman gazes down on us from under her hood. I'll leave you all off to come with us. That's it. If you kids can't play nicely, then I'll have to take your toys. Looking up, I noticed the armed soldiers swarmed around us with their weapons ready. Seeing this, McGill instantly waves his hands in the air, calling us some sort of incantation. Darkness, envelop under my command. Suddenly, all light in the cavern is put out. It's now or never. Quickly, Surge. Grab onto McGill, who's holding Kid. Together we flee the cavern, vanishing into the darkness. Led by McGill, we make our way out of the mansion. Back in the forest, we see the search parties tortured here and there, hunting for us. Their militant barking can be heard as they continue to get closer and closer to us. We stop behind a tree for a moment or two, catching our breath. I look down to Kid, who's taking quite a beating. You okay? Yeah, mate. Fine. Completely surrounded, says McGill. We must be on our way. Looking around, I suddenly see torches all around us, starting to close in. Kid suddenly lifts her head up. Go, Serge, save yourself. The troop is only after McGill and me. If they find you alone, they'll let you go. What are you talking about? I can't leave you now. Not like this. I told you I'll be fine, mate. But... Don't worry. I remember now, Serge. Who I used to be, long ago, she says, staring up into the night sky. Seeing the reflection of 100,000 stars in her eyes, I can't help but be taken in by that lonely, one-in-a-million expression of hers. Kid, don't worry, I'm okay. See you again, she says with a smile. Someday, and I will see you again, without a doubt. She softly closed her eyes. Lucas' chrono trigger was lost. Couldn't even get her hands on the frozen flame, but it's okay. It's all okay because tonight, in my heart, a shiny new treasure was born, Serge. The single most valuable and stealable treasure in the entire world. Saying this, Kid stares firmly at me with those eyes of hers, those bold, straight, honest eyes. Knowing who I am, it's bigger than all of this. Bigger than Lynx, bigger than the frozen flame. And nothing can take that away. Not as long as I'm alive. At this moment, listening to her under the starry night sky, I find myself wanting nothing more than to be here with her right now. Staring into her eyes, I only wish time could stop right at this instant. Goodbye, Serge. Thank you. With that, Kid turns her back to me and disappears into the darkness. Kid! Don't follow me. Please, don't follow me. Unable to control my feelings, I start to rush after her, however. A shadow abruptly blocks my path. It's McGill. He slowly shakes his head, a sorrowful look in his eyes. With that, his shadowy figure draws back, dissolving into the darkness. McGill? Kid! Kid! Kid. That's the story. That's the tale of the radical dreamers, you know. And so, the curtain closes on another tale. However, another time after the spotlight had faded from Kid, McGill, and Riddle, in another place and another time, a similar band of adventurers had come forth, equally unsuspecting of their other selves, and life went on as they strode out into the great unknown. But that's the story for another day. For now, I shall put down my pen. As I softly close my grandfather's diary, I hear my mother's voice call to me from downstairs. Didn't you hear me? Your friend is here. I turn around, already knowing who it is. My door opens quite energetically. We see a strangely nostalgic young girl barge in. Serge! We found some ruins of an old mansion up in the northern Kitsune forest today. Come on, let's go exploring. And there we go. It's Radical Dreamers. It's a game. I read it all for you. I played it for you. So you don't have to. what a beautiful end screen, you know? Just hang out. This little polycule. You know, you get really attached to these characters because you're just like, you're gonna struggle with them through the darkness, you know, like especially like with McGill when like he's always so stoic, but then there's like these few moments where he's like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, should I explain it better to you? Like, he's very kind sometimes, like he just kind of cracks through. Yeah, not used to shots from video games having this much negative space. It's pretty neat. It is. Like, I really like this game, how it looks and everything. And also, like, so when you beat the game, you can then replay it, and it changes a little bit. Like, there are little branches you can take, where the game just kind of becomes just other games, like other stories, with the characters. They kind of is playing around with the assets and writing other stories. So there's like 7 scenarios or something past this one, and like 7 in total, I guess. So 6 past this, and that's kind of what they're talking about. They're talking about like the multi-dimensionality, that these same adventures go on different adventures. You had there in the end, like, Serge's grandchild, of course, kind of repeats the same thing. It's also called Serge, and this kid character comes through the door, and then they're gonna explore the old mansion. Imagine McGill has been learning how to express sympathy for a decade or so. So McGill is clearly meant to be Magus from Chrono Trigger, and what Kid kind of learns is that she was what was she called? Shala from Chrono Trigger. So I guess she's McGill's reincarnated sister. Yeah, Shala. And that's kind of fun because, like, so those are like 2 really important characters. But Serge, he's just a guy. He's got fucking clown pants. He's an old bard, and he's just like, I have a little knife. He's just tagging along. It's an endless line of Serges, yeah. Maybe you're all Serge, you know. Finn. So, you know, you play the game, you make your choices, and you shape the stories. It's a time travel game in the sense that it's multiple choice, you know. Yes, it works well together with Chrono Cross, and I think Chrono Cross, in being a retelling of this, just kind of refines a lot of ideas that are present in this story, with like the I guess 5th dimensionality, with like, instead of just having time travel, it has the alternate timelines, the possibilities, the choices we make, you know. It really is a companion piece. So it's kind of wild that this game was just like Satellaview, Japan, 96. Who knows how many people played it, and then it was just like, no, and not until last year was it ever like officially released again. And it feels so like made to be a companion piece with Chrono Cross that it's wild that it really wasn't. It's just kind of lost to time, and only now can we sort of experience it as a companion piece. But I'm not sure like most people even will, because it's a bit of an, like, there are a bunch of choices you can make that kind of fuck you over. You have the health meter and everything. I was following a guide here just to kind of get through this game seamlessly for the stream. But it's a little bit difficult to get through unless you're patient or you just use a guide. So it's not super accessible or like approachable, I guess. But I think it's rewarding to play, especially like in conjunction with other Chrono Trigger games. Like, I don't think you should play this as your first Chrono game, but I absolutely don't think it should be like forgotten or overlooked or is like disregarded completely just because it's a very different game from other ones. There are more Satellaview games. Nintendo, of course, had Zelda games. I think those are really worth checking out. And then there's the other Square games, because they had Dynamite Tracer, which I think that was the first game Nomura directed. And you can see like it has these flares of like Kingdom Hearts and stuff in it. That's not translated though, so you can mostly just kind of play around with it and see the visuals, but maybe not get through it unless you know Japanese. There's also a board game, which I don't remember now. And then there was the airship one. I don't remember what that was called either. You're running around an airship and flying around in like mode 7. There were like 4 teams or something making Satellaview games at Square. And this was one of them, one of those 4s. And I think this is like the big standout. This is the one I went above and beyond. They all had 2 months development. Radical Dreamers took 3 months. And, you know, it's quite expansive because this is just one playthrough. You can get through, as I said before, 6 other scenarios. And that's just kind of not as long as this, but like they can run up to an hour or something and just go into completely different territory. They are, however, very different stories. Like in one, kid gets possessed by a weird flower and becomes a flower monster, like in the woods before you even get to the mansion. And it's just a thing with that. Another one is like a ghost story that just kind of emerges in the mansion. And they start doing that. And then like there is one where you like meet the Cyclops in a weird arena, which leads to like a mech battle against Lord Lynx at the end. So, like it has these strange alternate stories told. I think they were written by other people. This main one is Masato Kato, who helped was co-writer on Chrono Trigger, and then it was main writer on Chrono Cross. He's kind of took over the Chrono series, I guess. It's cool. I like this game. But I think that's it for today. And I'm probably not gonna play the other playthroughs on stream because I don't think they're as good, you know. The main scenario is like the main one. This is the good one, the one I like. But yeah, that's Radical Dreamers. So it's a radical game for radical dreamers. And once again, shout out to Demiforce for translating this entire game. Because you know, if that boyo hadn't done it, I'm not sure anyone would have. Well, maybe someone would have, but like it's quite an extensive game. And I guess the Chrono Trigger connection is the only reason it ever happened that early. Because otherwise, you know, I think it would have just been a curiosity. But yeah, any last words? Just gonna have a little hangout. Gonna finish my ginger beer. I miss Aliplu, you know. Aliplu, she got sick. In our hometown, just sitting around. You stuck around for it all. That's so good. You had a hangout session with me. I didn't. I kind of broadcasted this towards you, you know. And you know, you make of it what you will. Like it has its weird parts. I think the thing I don't like really, I could do without the weird like objectification of kid that happens in like the little dating mechanic you have with kid, because it's not really like, I think it's kind of strangely written. It's very clear that this game was written by a guy, you know. Also, because you don't know how old Serge is, I always, and that's probably just because Chrono Cross and everything, but I always assumed he's like kid's age. But she's barely 17 for some reason, so it's like I could do without that, because I think like the relationship you have with Kid feels sincere towards the end, just kind of because you have an adventure together. But I don't feel like it has to be romantic or anything, because I also think like Serge, he's an absolute doofus. He's not winning her over, you know. He just isn't. He's a clumsy little boy. Maybe this is his learning experience, because of course he has a grandchild. So through some way or another, he, you know, uh, he learns. But it's not. Oh, did we start again? Oh, we're not starting again. He's not doing anything with Kid, you know. And I think that's a good conclusion, because I think it would be weird if the game is kind of ended with like, oh, well, you know, kind of asked for her bust size or whatever in the mirror, stabbed Kid with a sword, and then you like end up marrying her or whatever. Like this dumb. I don't like that. And it's good it's not. It doesn't end like that. I mean, it's a weird game, and that's probably why Masato Kato also was like apprehensive to re-releasing it, because he did rework it into Chrono Cross, which like rationally, it's a way more extensive, comprehensive, like well written, interesting game. But for some reason, you know, I'm way more enamored with Radical Dreamers, and I think it's just because it's so sincere and like spontaneous, because it was written and produced everything, like it was just done in 3 months. It has not gone through many drafts, and it's just interesting. It's like it's like the game version of a sketch that was just thrown out into the wind to be discarded, and then someone dug it out of the trash bin, you know. Oh, well, I'm glad we could help you find Tearaway. It's a cool game, you know. Yeah, we talked about her eyes and stuff. Like, I think it's clear that Serge he's going along on this adventure because he is infatuated with Kid. Kid clearly sees him as a friend, and I guess it's real. You know, it's just something that happens in real life. And you can get more like details and everything by taking the different choices. I did follow a guide that does like the right choices with Kid, and in different scenarios they're like like one of the scenarios when she becomes like a flower monster, the way to save her is that, and this is like the part that I really would not have, is that Serge must kiss her like in her weird monster state, and that just breaks the spell. It's like some weird fairy tale shit, and I like it. Definitely was just written off the cuff, and it's showing its age and everything. It was definitely written by a bunch of boys in like 2 minutes. But you know, that's how it is. Anyway, I'm tired. I've been talking nonstop for almost 4 hours now. But it was fun to do this. Now I've done this. I was thinking of doing this because this is the one time I could stream this by just having a storytime hour, because it's hard to do this when we're 2 people otherwise. So kind of get mouthy with each other. The other game I was thinking about doing would have been Burning Rangers, because of the little intercom system, where you kind of need to pay attention to what's being said, and that's kind of hard to do with someone else talking. But maybe we'll do that some other time where Aliplu is, for some reason or another, gone. Maybe she goes on a vacation or something. I don't know. We know it's gonna be in the closest, in the close future, unless the other clue is gone for a real long time. Anyway, this was all fun and all. I'm gonna cut the stram. I'm gonna say good night. I'm gonna pet my cat. She's been so patient. She's just been lying in the bed. She's being a little quiet baby. She's sleeping. She didn't disturb me once, like she usually does. She wants all the attention. Jessica, you want some attention? Oh, she wakes up. Jessica. She goes back to bed. Okay, well, well, I guess there we have it. That's that. That's the end of that story. Now get the fuck out of my